everybody. I'm live for the first time in my new location. I have moved cross-country, and I am in a different region of the United States in a new apartment. So within 2 hours of moving here, the first thing I did was set everything up. I really just got the internet fixed up yesterday. Now let's see. It's 11:30. Let's say in 23 minutes. Yeah, in 23 minutes. Actually, let's say 25. Yeah, we'll get ready for the. There we go. All right. So, oops. I need to fix my timer. It's a little. It's not really lined up quite right. All right. I just gotta crop the colon out here. There we go. That's more like it. Now, I don't know how many of you. I may have some new viewers because of the new tags that are available, or because it's, you know, this is E3 stuff. This is the first time I've done anything for E3. Well, at least anything in terms of live stream material. The Nintendo's E3 material is going to start at noon. And hey, Kalaka boy, noon Eastern Standard Time. So I've got it ready to go over here. Actually, why don't I... If I were to... If I brought up the timer... If I brought up the timer... And dragged it up here... How about that? Hey, does that look cool? Yeah. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think of this till just now. I could add... Hold on, I just gotta add the image. Actually, I don't even need that. I could just put it here. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of doing this. So now, anyone who comes in is going to see. Because this layout, I adapted it a bit for E3. But mostly it's this is my, my layout for when I'm doing the high score leaderboard runs for Nintendo's versus Pinball. And I just realized, oh, I could just... I already had a thing so I could have the pinball going here. If like the Treehouse ever gets like kind of sleepy, I could skip to that and have just something to do with my hands while we do the co-stream during the Treehouse part, not the actual direct. But actually, now that we're doing it with the exact time, 33. Actually, 33. 30. Okay. 28 minutes. We should be 28 minutes at this point. Okay. Yeah, I didn't consider actually just sitting on this screen until, and that's actually good because now I can get out because I can only set up the interact window. I could really only set that up while I'm on the layout with the YouTube video on it. So let me get out. Okay, YouTube, hit interact. Interact. There we go. So now I could have that open. So I can make that nice and big for myself. Because I'm kind of watching, I'm going to be watching in the interact window when this starts. There we go. Yeah, I can't, in this mode of versus pinball, I can't pause it. Because while you're in the high score mode, which is what I'm playing right now, they have it set up so that you can't really see... You can't really pause because that's not how the original game was played, because originally this was an arcade game. So, I guess to make it fair, the original arcade version of this did not have a pause feature of any kind. I was actually at one point I was in the top 100. I got up to the 80s at one point. Then I stopped playing for a long time. A lot of better players came along, so now I'm down to the 105th. But also, this pinball game, this is the arcade version, played on Nintendo Switch using the Arcade Archives version, which does support online leaderboards, which is a really neat addition. I'm playing with the, my wire got. I'm playing with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller here, and I do, okay, so you can't see, yeah, I'm playing with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. My lighting is not exactly as it would be. I haven't quite found my other light within all my suitcases that I use for moving. Ooh, oh, it says I'm getting, thanks for the sub, Tundex. Let's see. There we go. Alright. Yeah, my frames, it looked a little scary there for a second, but on the web-based stream manager, everything seemed like it was alright, so I'm not so worried. Yeah, so the lighting's not quite up to snuff, but I had a bit of a window of flexibility as to when I did or didn't do this. I was considering, or my original plan was to actually stay where I was living before, do this live reaction to E3, Nintendo's E3 Direct and coverage, then immediately pack up and move. But I decided, you know what, I'll just go ahead and move, because I had the cable set up in advance, and at that point I had already had most of my belongings sent to the new apartment. So I was just living where I was at before, and this was like I lived multiple states away from where I lived before. And so I've been watching a lot of E3 stuff with Pete last night. What was I doing? Yeah, I just dropped a link to it because it happened to be open, but last night, What About Brunch was doing a bunch of old 80s and 90s commercials, ripped off of old VHS tapes, and doing a sort of nostalgia stream, which is really cool. Honestly, outside of, like, Pete Door's community is honestly, like, 90% of the reason I still follow E3. Like, I enjoy watching the E3 stuff during the period of E3. I enjoy watching that stuff with him and his stream more than I'd actually care about E3 if I was watching it myself. My little community I'm blessed to have here is really the only thing that could possibly pull me away from watching E3 with Pete and everyone over there, which is my normal tradition. And plus, I always wanted to just do Nintendo. I never did a live at-home reaction to E3. Well, I did a couple, kind of, but it was kind of like E3 2009. I recorded at my friend's house with a video camera. I just had set up on a tripod, and it was just filming the TV that was on G4, which is kind of bogus, but it worked good enough. But here I'm actually able to, you know, do a proper live stream. Even if I couldn't get stable enough internet for streaming, what I would have did is I just record this, like I did for the Pokemon Presents thing, which is basically the Pokemon equivalent of Nintendo Direct. I would have did that and recorded it, and then I would have put it on YouTube and then did a live sort of replay party where I did it on Twitch. Kind of like what I did for my Deltarune, where I did a Let's Play. A pre-recorded Let's Play on YouTube, where I was just recording it myself without chat or being live. Then later on, when I needed to give my hands a rest from I was playing too much Paper Mario, I was spamming Bombette's action command so much that I kind of maybe slightly induced some carpal tunnel type symptoms. So I played off video games for a couple of weeks, and what I did was am I enjoying the new place? Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I like it here, but I'm probably going to be moving. I'm probably not going to live here long. I'm probably going to get another place. I can't say when, but I'm definitely not I'll be shocked if I'm here a year from now. I plan to move out sooner rather than later. Not that I don't like it where I'm at. I might even get I don't know. For all I know, I might even get up another apartment in the same complex that I'm in now. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But I appreciate the Wi-Fi. Like, the internet was tricky to figure out because of the limitations of what I had to work with. I wasn't able to use a hardline connection the way I was at my old apartment. And I ended up using this Google Wi-Fi thing, where I'm like, okay, I do not trust this weird Google router thingamajig. Like, you know, I want a corded connection, but to my shock and relief, because this is one of the only solutions that was really available. Unfortunately, I had to leave my blue gaming chair. I had to leave that behind. I had to leave that behind when I moved. It's in storage in the same city I used to live in, which is like a significant several states away. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to go back and get that chair. But for now, I'm using this leather armchair that I was able to get a hold of locally. But it's one of those kind of pleather chairs that really kind of starts flaking the pleathery material after a while, so it's comfortable. It's constantly shedding. So I have this Pikachu and the original Kanto starter sort of fleece throw thing that I put over the back of the chair to protect from the flakes of the pleather getting everywhere. And then behind me, what that actually is a Pokemon wall calendar that I've been using all year. I always use Pokemon wall calendars. I accidentally ordered one from the UK this year. I didn't realize till I already had it, and it was too late to order a new one. I just had to start using the calendar immediately. The only real problem is American holidays aren't on it, like Labor Day, Memorial Day. And then Sunday is at the end of the week, which makes enough sense, but it's sort of hard to get used to. I have to remember Sundays after Saturday, not at the beginning of the week on these calendars. It's not so bad because after I went to the Bluebell Railway, I used a Bluebell Railway wall calendar, and I was obviously from England, so I was kind of used to how British wall calendars work. I have the wall calendar turned backwards because I can't really put holes in the wall where I'm at. So like at my old place, when I'm hanging this the same method, I'm actually sort of parked in front of a closet is where I put my streaming setup. So right behind my chair is a closet, and so I have a couple of bottles, like tubes of like dollar store. It's like a dollar store hand cream that I don't really use, but they're heavy. So I tied the 2 things of dollar store hand cream on the back of a pair of strings and put those around the loop and slung it over the side of the door so that it would, like, the weight of the hand cream tubes would balance with the calendar, so I could hang on the wall without putting thumbtack or nail holes in the wall. Yeah, I haven't even been... frankly, I've barely left the apartment. I've left the apartment once since I moved, like, since I got here 3 or 4 days ago. And then, what am I gonna have to do? Yeah, what I'll have to do is try and... thank you, Bubbles. What I'm gonna have to try and do is, well, the reason the calendar's backwards, because I always had this calendar, but it was never on camera behind me, because this is also the only place I could really put my streaming setup. I just turned the calendar backwards because there's a lot of personal info on it, like appointments and stuff like that. So while I'm streaming, I'm gonna have to have the calendar turned around backwards. Yeah, I haven't really checked out what stores are near me. Yeah, I went to one of the local supermarket chains. It's something I kind of heard of, but I never saw before. Never actually been inside before. So I went in and bought a little bit of junk food. I got a little E3 food and drink. I've got some Pringles here. My first Pringles can all year. Because I'm not really super big into junk food. But when I do... Oh, we got... Come on. Yeah, we saved the ball there. Yeah, I didn't even open up, like, my Postmates app to see what kind of restaurants deliver near here. Oh, no, he lost it. Yeah, so I don't think this is really going to be, I guess what I consider a record-breaking stream. Now, normally when I'm playing versus pinball, I'm playing, right now I'm actually playing using my, because typically in this situation, I just play using my, the viewer on my broadcast software. But because in my layout, my game screen is so tiny, what I did was I opened up my Elgato like the actual video capture program, so I have a larger view of it. Unlike when normally I have my other monitor playing the game, and because I'm gonna be watching, because it's mostly just me watching stuff for a few hours. Normally, like, the screen in front of me would be just my gameplay screen, my monitor that's dedicated entirely to gameplay from whatever game system I'm using. But right now, what's directly in front of me is the view of the computer I broadcast off of, and then on my left is my my feed, like the monitor that I have my my web-based stream manager on Twitch. And so because of that, I'm just playing on I'm playing with my my game capture instead of on having its own full screen monitor. The reason and also, to add to the confusion for me, I physically swapped the monitors. I didn't switch which feed was going into which monitor, I just physically switched where they're at, because normally my broadcast PC, I'd be looking to the left. To my left, then directly in front of me is the game content, and then I have my little Logitech webcam hanging on top of the monitor that's in front of me, so I'm looking at the game content. So this time, if I had my monitor set up like normal, I'd be looking like this the entire time, so it looks like I'm looking away from the content, and I find that, I don't like the way that looks in tests. So I just physically picked the monitors up and switched them. But when I play using the broadcast, the capture software, there's like a millisecond delay, so these aren't going to be record-breaking games. And I have bottled water right now. I have to get a new water dispenser, because at my old place I had a zero water dispenser. But that belonged to one of my housemates, so I don't have access to it anymore now that I moved out, so I have to get my own. So until then I have bottled water again. I don't mind the taste of the water or anything. I just know, like, for the sake of, like, safety, instead of having a water bottle with a little spout where I could suck it through a straw and put it down, and if I knocked over the water bottle, it wouldn't spill everywhere. And in terms of that, that's really more the reason I liked having a way to fill the water with water that wasn't just straight tap water. You're enjoying your stream on your 55-inch Sony HD TV. You know, it's kind of funny. I was at like Walmart or something. I noticed like, wow, it seems like Sony kind of got out of TVs for a while, at least in the US. I really stopped seeing like televisions from Sony, and then I started seeing them a bunch again. Like, you know, another thing I just thought of for the first time. I remember in the lead up to the PlayStation 3, like there was all this hype about the Cell processor. And, like, this Cell processor was supposedly going to be this ubiquitous thing that was going to be used in all kinds of technology. Like, televisions were going to have Cell processors in them, and like, tablets and digital cameras. And I can't think of anything aside from the PlayStation 3 that actually used the Cell. Alright. Now, it's interesting. What is it? I'm just taking a look at my, I normally don't care about being... Alright, I'm just refreshing that I'm just refreshing my web-based stream manager. I just want to see if something updates or not. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, it's saying that, it's saying I've got way more... It's saying I have, like, 2 viewers. Not that I worry too much about my viewer count, because I can carry on with the stream all the same. But, like, if, let's say, I was relying entirely on that, like, oh, I have 2 viewers, like, and I cared about that and was upset. But then, like, it's showing way more people watching the stream than the viewer count. So it's a weird disparity of those things anyway. And whenever I stream, I just assume that there are people watching anyway, because often they are, and I'm just not aware of it, because I don't normally peek in my users in chat thing. I like to respect the anonymity of those viewers who maybe are just lurking and aren't participating in chat. And then, like, one thing that happened once, I just, like, early on when I started streaming, I just clicked into users in chat. I wasn't thinking of it as being nosy or anything. Like, that's something that sort of developed as I streamed more frequently. And I looked in user chat, and there was like I'm not gonna name names, there was a big-time streamer watching me. And I was like, and I just, like, didn't want to call him out, and it was just kind of weird, because now I'm, like, sweating, like, oh my gosh, like, someone big-time that I never thought would be in the stream, it was in the stream, and it was definitely that person. It was, like, unmistakably that person. So since then, I've been, not just out of respect, not clicking in my chat, but, like, I don't want to, like, choke on camera if I see someone, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, it's Freddie Fairbanks, or, I don't know, I have no idea who Freddie Fairbanks is. I just made up a random name that sounds like a possible teen idol from the 90s or something. When Nintendo's E3 Direct begins, we're gonna have to figure out, oh, by the way, if my microphone needs to be rebalanced, let me know, either now or once we start the stream, once the Direct starts, because it's possible, I have to do this on the fly, so I'm gonna have to adjust, you know, I'm probably gonna leave my voice the same and then turn the volume of the Nintendo Direct up or down. So my plan right now is to watch, the entire Direct, which should be about 40, it says right there on screen, it should be about 40 minutes, and the Treehouse Live, which is going to be, I think they said 3 or 4 hours. Hey, Gush on Games. Yeah, it's my first broadcast from my new apartment. I just moved to this very far away part of the United States from where I was at before. And so it's my first broadcast off from my new location. And I haven't only found one of my lights in all my suitcases. I had a lot of leeway in terms of when I made the move, so I was thinking about maybe doing this broadcast at my old place and then moving immediately. But it's like, well, one thing is, you know, yeah, what is it? I've got, yeah, so, yeah, I'm playing Gush on Games. You've been here before. I remember seeing you around. Yeah, so I'm playing with the Switch Pro controller, for anyone who's not familiar. I'm playing this on Nintendo Switch. Originally, I was using, when I first started the stream, my plan was to use I've got my traditional pinball layout with all my my stats and everything here. You know, I've have my hold screen, then I've got my, please switch over. There's a delay on this. Please, okay, yeah, and then I've got my normal pinball switch up, and I have, you know, the E3 and 8 minutes, whatever. Then I was like, wait, I could just micro-eyes the pinball thing. So, the whole process of, so that anyone who's coming in for the first time, yeah, I definitely know you from Pete Dor's chat, and I just forget, like, I have a weird time where, like, I forget whether or not I know people from Pete's chat or someone else's chat, or if I've actually seen them in my own stream, because in my opinion, like, I guess the memory should be different. Like, I just should feel like, okay, I just remember interacting with people in chat. I just remember if I was interacting with them via text in someone else's stream or on my own stream. So I see these familiar names, and I forget, like, okay, have I seen you around? Or I've definitely you've definitely been on my stream before. Yeah, I've only found one of my lights in all my suitcases, so the lighting's a bit, what was I playing? Yeah, I was playing Super Mario Advance. I was playing Super Mario Advance last summer for Game Boy Advance when I was going through that month or two period where I was going through a lot of Game Boy Advance launch window games that are on the Wii U Virtual Console. Yeah, so this is my first E3 stream. Honestly, like, if it wasn't for, I've been, like, as I get settled into my new apartment, unpacking things and setting up equipment and doing connection tests and stuff, watching E3 with Pete and the gang over there has been really, year after year, it's been my favorite part of E3. It's the reason I follow E3 as much as I do. The only reason I've been watching E3 with Pete myself, actually, frankly, Nintendo's E3, because I love watching E3 with Pete, and then Nintendo's E3 is like the stuff I care the most about. Though I love seeing all this stuff on other systems or on PC that I'd otherwise not be exposed to or I'm aware of or looking out for. But it's kind of funny, because with Switch, really for the first time really in modern history. Now with Switch, like, you could see a game on a non-Nintendo E3 show, and it actually having a pretty decent chance of being available for Switch, especially the smaller indie or comfy type stuff that would be more into in terms of my playstyle and tastes. You know, I haven't looked deep into it, but apparently I've overheard and just seen in chats other than Pete's, a lot of people bashing on the Wholesome Direct, saying it was always just a bunch of lame games. And I was like, okay, you could not like the stuff in Wholesome Direct. That's not your vibe or your aesthetic, as the kids say these days. But I hope you're not the same people that are the people that are bashing on Wholesome Direct. I hope those are not the same sorts of people that take it personally and get upset when mainstream media critics from like the mainstream media like refuse to accept video games as a form of art. But like, and then those same people, like some of them are this exact sort of people that only play like hardcore like dude bro type games with like wars and blowing up aliens and stuff. I mean, I love Metroid Prime. I played, I loved Halo 1. So it's not like I'm against, gritty stuff where you're blowing up aliens or war games. It's not what I'm into these days. So it's not like I'm just bashing that genre, but I'm just saying, if you think a game's only legitimate if they're like gritty, grim, dark, dude bro type stuff, and then you get upset when people from outside of that little aspect of the hardcore gaming community see video games as just a bunch of like mindless noise, then you can't get upset about that if that's the only thing you legit as a Oh, you know what was, Gush on Games, were you there last night when Pete was watching the Intellivision Amico update video that Tommy Tallarico released as part of during E3? Because things got really interesting during that, because all of a sudden, chat became, like, super opinionated and, like, all the different points of view. The Amico thing is really fascinating to me because, like, just all the weird drama and the extreme opinionated takes on it are just interesting. And then, like, when you have, like, two opinion leaders, like Rich from Review Tech USA and, Pat the NES Punk, Pat Contry, I happen to like both. I like Rich's videos and his streams, and I like Pat and Ian's podcast. I like them both. I don't know, I can't comment on how they are personally as people, or how any drama in their personal lives. I can't comment on that. But I like their actual material. I don't agree with them on everything, but I like, even if I disagree with their takes, I like the way they put together their shows, and I like it enough that I watch it even when some stuff, where both of them rubs me the wrong way. Hold on. So it's really weird just how opinionated this. I think it's more with Pat and Ian being like extremely against the Amico. But the thing is, part of the reason they're so against it, like, if they observed, I know at some point they just looked at the project, they weren't feeling it, and gave their criticisms of it. If that was it, I don't think Pat and Ian would be so, like, outspokenly opposed to or critical of it the way they are now. But then Tommy Tallarico took that way too serious, way too personally, and got really upset at them over it, so then they got really upset at him over it. And then, when you have this additional element where, Rich is, like, on good terms with Tommy Tallarico, and so he, like, gave him a rather softball interview about the Amico, and then Pat and Rich have this pre-existing drama where they got into an argument over some other material they made, and were getting really upset at each other over that. And so then Pat and Ian were going after Rich, saying like, "Oh, you're shilling for this, and you know he's paying you off," and it was just so weird watching how heated it was getting. And because you have these groups of people who just like Pat, and there are a bunch of people who just like Rich from Review Tech. And so now you have these groups of fanboys like that are liking or disliking this system as a matter of principle based on which of those two creators they like more. And then in addition to that, like Pat and Ian, like they kind of their podcast went way oh gosh. It should be starting about now. It should be starting about now. Yeah, it's 12 noon. One thing I will say about the Amico is it's really annoying to me that... Oh, get rid of the pinball thing. Yeah, what's really annoying to me about the Amico is that because of Amico, we're basically not going to get a high quality retro flash... Whoa. Okay. Why is it... Oh my gosh. Okay, excuse me. Alright, it's starting. Alright, I just want to... Here's the link to the Nintendo Direct if my stream goes down.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my gosh. Why does it skip? Everything, like the internet's just imploding right now.
Your guide for today's Nintendo Direct.
Okay,
Hello,
okay, we're good.
I'm Yoshiaki Koizumi, and I'll be your guide as well.
The Nintendo Switch system is now in its 5th year, and many people around the world are playing games on it. Nintendo Switch is being enjoyed by a wide range of players.
Okay, is my volume good? Does it need to be louder or quieter or anything? Let me know.
Thank you all very much. We've been able to offer a wide variety of games on the system, not just from Nintendo, but also from
I've
our
got
many
some
development
Pringles,
and
so
publishing
hope this
partners.
doesn't bother anyone.
I hope that each of you watching this Nintendo Direct will be able to find a game that suits your personal tastes.
Today, we have news on upcoming Nintendo Switch games, and we'll be focusing on a selection of games releasing this year.
Alright, is the balance of the Nintendo Direct and my voice good? Is the balance good?
Okay,
Let me know
to
if I
begin,
need to
please
turn
take a look at
the
this video.
Direct higher or lower. Alright. Alright, we're good. And I do have low latency mode on. Yeah, I do have low latency mode on. So it shouldn't be too far behind. Is this guy from Tekken? I'm not super familiar with my fighting games. Okay, it sounds better now. Now, I want you to actually be able to hear me and the thing good, because sometimes people say, oh, it's good, and then I'll go back and listen to... Alright. The only guy... It's like throwing them all off the cliff. I guess this is something from Tekken. The only person I recognize from Tekken is Hayachi, so excuse me. Hey, Mechagong. Yeah, welcome to my first post-move stream from my new apartment. No, Hayachi threw him off a cliff as a son. I didn't know Hayachi was such a butthole. And the only thing I know about Hayachi is I just recognize him from his hair. So.
Hello, I'm Masahiro Sakurai from Sora Limited, and the director of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate
Yeah,
game.
there's a slight delay whenever I watch
From
stuff
the fighting
on.
game series Tekken will join the battle. Surprise!
Whenever I watch
I'll
stuff
go over the details at a later date, so please sit tight.
on
For today, though,
on
we
YouTube
prepared a short
through
video to
my
showcase Kazuya's
streaming
moves in
software,
Super
but
Smash Brothers
it shouldn't be a
Ultimate.
problem.
Please take a
The
look.
delay shouldn't exist on you guys' end. Yep. So yeah, this is my first. Yeah, sorry I don't have too much to say about this. I'm not big into Smash. I just enjoy watching how much everyone else enjoys Smash. I really haven't played Smash since Melee, when I used to play it with my brother back when we were when we were kids and we were living together. Once my brother moved away, that was really kind of it for Smash for me. I did get Smash Brothers for 3DS because I was still in college at the time. Because I was in college a lot longer than it normally. I guess. Point is, I was in college and I had nerdy gamer friends, so I thought, hey, if I get Smash for 3DS and I'm on campus a lot, maybe I'll actually occasionally play with friends. And that happened, I think, once ever.
This feels like Tekken. No, it's Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'll talk about the fighter more in a future presentation.
I do
We
like
still
how they've
have to record
gotten.
it first, actually.
Oh, they haven't even recorded it yet. They're just admitting they haven't recorded the.
Thank you, Mr. Sakurai.
Yeah, I never even. I played Brawl once at a friend's
Join the
house,
fight
so.
in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
No, my brother, he's got a.
Please look
The
forward
last
to
time I
seeing
saw
how
him, I
Kazuya,
talked to him.
who's
I haven't seen him in
experienced
person
many
in a
harsh
number of
battles
years, but
across the
he had
Tekken
short hair
series,
last time I talked to
will
him. He
fight
never
in
grew
this
his hair
game.
long.
All right, let's continue with our first batch of Nintendo Switch headlines.
I mean, I know you have a lot of options for watching
Your choices matter in these emotional, supernatural
Nintendo
tales.
Direct co-streams. This is the first one I've ever done live. Well, I did a Pokemon Presents train. Wait, are they just sitting on... Is this a... I was confused because it looked like a... Okay, that is a freight train. I was about to say, they're just sitting on the side of a boxcar. They're sitting on the side of an open boxcar. Wait, Life is Strange? Isn't that... I thought that... I didn't even... I thought that was... Isn't that a Sony-published game? Yeah, isn't this Sony published? It wasn't? I always thought... Okay, excuse me.
Life is Strange.
Oh, it's
True
Square
Colors
Enix. Okay, for
launches
some
on
reason
Nintendo
I always
Switch
just
September
so
10th.
strongly associated
And
Life is Strange with
Remastered
the
Collection
PlayStation
comes to
brand
Nintendo
that I...
Switch later this year.
That I kind of...
There's something for
just kinda made me
everyone
think
on
of-
the Nintendo Switch system. You are Star-Lord, leading a legendary band of heroes for hire in this thrilling action-adventure
so-
game. Jump on a wild ride
I didn't know this was
across
coming
the
to Switch.
cosmos, overwhelm opponents
Or is
with
this something-
Star-Lord's daring combat style, and encounter iconic and original Marvel characters.
Okay, well, it's...
You'll call the shots
I was about
for
to
the
say, like,
unoriginal
Guardians,
Guardians
I'm muting
and face cosmic
the
threats to save the galaxy.
YouTube,
You got this.
YouTube for this part, but it looks like...
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy blasts onto Nintendo Switch October 26th.
I had no idea
Worms
Guardians was
everywhere.
coming to Switch. They even
In this
announced that
real-time
yesterday.
arena-based shooter,
I didn't
you'll
think
squish your invertebrate
they
opponents
did,
in
and I
32
didn't
player
think...
cross-platform combat.
I didn't
In
think
daily
of that as a
challenges,
game that the
battle
Switch
modes,
could even
seasonal
handle. I
events
mean,
to worm your way
I
up
love
the
the
ring.
Switch. I mean, I've got it right here. It's the
Patchwork
only
Barrack,
currently on the market
exclusive to the
system.
Nintendo Switch version, will be available
Yeah, you
for
could,
free
yeah,
for 2 weeks
Mecha-Kong.
after
I mean, I love the
launch.
Switch,
The new
but
map,
I
Spaceport
could
Showdown,
probably
launches
draw a
with
flip book and
Worms
animate it
wriggling
quicker
onto
than the
Nintendo
frame rate it's
Switch
going to run
June
on
23rd.
Switch.
Get a 25% discount when you pre-order
And
the game
I really did
starting
not think of that
today
as a
on
game that
Nintendo
would come to
eShop.
Switch. I really thought of that as a more high-end sort
The
of game.
fantastical realm of Orcanon awaits. As you explore this fully hand-painted world, you'll customize a team of demigods and unleash devastating attacks and captivating turn-based combat. Astria Ascending launches on Nintendo Switch September 30th.
Now, it's kind of funny how Nintendo
Return to the
pioneered
funny,
this format.
charming, and quirky
And at the time,
world
everyone's
of
like, what's
Two-Point
wrong with you? You
County.
got to do a stage show.
In the wholesome
And
management
now
sim
it's like
Two-Point Campus,
everyone else
you'll
is
build
trying to
and run
catch
your
up with
very own
Nintendo because
university
they know how to
the
do
way
these
you want it.
concise rapid fire,
Tools are at your disposal.
entertaining but
Make
no
the school
nonsense
yours and
releases.
take your educational empire
But as
to
far as
the
a
next
digital
level.
presentation, nothing
Enrollment for
beats
2-Point
their
Campus starts on
2014
Nintendo
presentation was
Switch next
amazing. Their E3 2014 digital event. I mean,
A
it's
beloved series
okay.
rolls into its 20th anniversary this year.
What's this? What came out in 2000? Okay, Super Monkey Ball. I was about to say, I'm like, what's 20 years old this year? Something early GameCube era. Oh yeah, okay, Super Monkey Ball. Yeah, yeah, that came out on Dreamcast and I believe arcade first. Actually, if this is the only game in this series I've ever played myself is Super Monkey Ball Jr. on Game Boy Advance. And Super Monkey Ball on Game Boy Advance, a lot of people like complain like, oh, it's such a chopped down version of the game. But well, one, it was my first Super Monkey Ball game, and second, to have such smooth, high-speed, polygonal 3D gameplay on Game Boy Advance was absolutely incredible. Like, and Sega went through this weird phase where they were getting, I think, THQ to put out a lot of...
It's a blast from
Oh my gosh, please!
and you're
Mario Party 2.
Ready
Mario
for
Party
another
2.
round of
Come on.
Mario Party mayhem? Of course you are. It's a superstar collection of Mario Party boards and minigames. Live it up
Oh
with
my
live
gosh,
boards
we're playing
from the
this, we're
Nintendo
playing this.
64 Era, including Peach's birthday cake and Space
Spaceland, yes!
Each board is packed with zany events guaranteed to keep you on your toes. And when we say zany, we mean it.
But like,
Jump,
oh my gosh.
connect blocks, and give
Short of having just an online HD
and
remake of Mario
hilarious
Party 2,
over-the-top
this is...
minigames.
Oh my
With
gosh.
support button controls. With 100 minigames from the Mario Party series catalog, you'll have a blast in this.
Oh my god, this
all-star
is almost... This is almost like a
All
fantasy
games
level
working
game for me
online
right
play.
now. Now, one thing is, the different boards across different Mario Party games, they did have very different sort of mechanics to them, so I wonder how they're going to balance that out.
Online with friends, save your progress mid-game, grab a snack, then resume the festivities. Stickers are
Because,
also
like,
available
in-
to communicate with others.
Like in Mario Party 1
Time to
boards
party
had
in Mario Party
an
Superstars.
extreme emphasis
Launching
on
the
losing
Nintendo
stars
system
and
October
losing
29th.
coins, which is
Pre-order
something that they
begins
really
today on
scaled
Nintendo
back
Shop.
on for the later Mario Party games. So I wonder, like,
What did you think?
like Mario Party 1, you could lose
Before we
stars a
show
lot
this next
during
trailer,
board gameplay. That
I'd
really
like to
wasn't a
say
thing
one
in Mario
thing.
Party 2 and onward.
Currently, we're
So I wonder how they're
going
gonna balance that
the
out.
latest game in the Metroid Prime series, Metroid Prime
Oh my gosh.
4, which we previously announced.
Which is really Metroid Prime 5, but
Today,
whatever.
We'd like to introduce another new entry in the Metroid franchise. Please take a
Okay,
look.
please. Non-first person Metroid. A new non-first person Metroid is... Come on, Metroid 5? Metroid 5! Oh my gosh, I called it! I was so scared that Other M was going to be like the Hindenburg of non-first person Metroid games, where Other M did so bad that Nintendo would be afraid to ever do non-first person Metroid again. Is this going to be about Samus clearing her name after the incident on the BSL space station where she was framed for destroying the Federation's evil experiments? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this isn't like Other Ember. It was like three-dimensional, but you're mostly restricted to a 2D plane. This looks like straight-up 2D. Oh my gosh! Oh. Okay. This is a different apartment with thinner walls, so I have to keep my voice down. I have to do like Roger's face and scream into a pillow. So I have to keep it calm. That's one thing I have to get used to in this new place. I have to keep it low key. So excuse me. They actually called it Metroid Dread. And wasn't Dread supposed to come out. And I wonder, like, if this has any relation, like, in terms of, like, the development history. Does this have any true relation to the original Metroid Dread project that was supposed to be on DS, I think? Or is this, like, something, a completely 100% new project that they started and they just gave it that name, like, as a... I just remember on DS there were references to something called Metroid Dread that were leaking.
That was the trailer for the first new 2D Metroid game in roughly 19 years. The brand new Metroid Dread game. As the name Dread implies, this is a Metroid game with a new feel showcasing a variety of threats that Samus will encounter. It's scheduled to be released on October 8th, so it won't be too long until launch. On that same day, we'll also be releasing amiibo figures for
that robot
Samus
is freaking cool,
and
though.
the Emmy, the robot seen in the video.
Emmy.
Let's move on to more Nintendo Switch headlines.
I can't wait to go back and watch the VODs of
These
familiar franchises return on Nintendo Switch. These are going to be things we haven't seen on Nintendo Switch before, presumably.
Get ready to
Just Dance
get
2022.
down in the latest Just Dance
R.I.P.
game.
the Wii once and for all. We're actually not getting a Wii reported. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute that during this. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and mute that. Alright. Yeah, I wonder... Yeah, we'll have to see what they do. Okay, now that the rhythm, the Just Dance part's over.
Smash hit Cruisin' Blast is speeding onto Nintendo Switch.
The arcade smash hit. Is this actually released in arcades? I was not aware if it was.
Up to 4 players can race together, so pick your favorite
I'm
vehicle
guessing...
and hit the road.
I wonder what interesting plot elements... No, but the history of Metroid Dread, I just know there were rumors about a game called...
It's the ultimate Dragon Ball Z experience.
Like rumors of a DS 2D or 2.5D Metroid game called Metroid Dread, and then there was a reference in Metroid Prime 3. You scan like one of the pirate computers that says, "Oh, like Project Dread is scheduling, like is going ahead as scheduled," and then you never heard about it again. When Metroid Other M was revealed for the Wii, a lot of people thought that might have been Dread at first, but
along
yeah.
with the main story, you can explore the vast world of Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
so
Z.
no...
Hey, why not help out
Yeah,
the
it's
locals?
interesting, because, like,
Or
no
collect
Metroid
ingredients
Prime
for delicious
4...
meals.
Yeah,
always
which
train
is
to acquire
really...
new skills,
It's
too.
kind of funny that we're getting
There are
Metroid
lots of
5 as
things to
Metroid
keep you
Dread
busy.
with the
The
as the
boss battle
Metroid 5.
episodes, a new power
Meanwhile,
awakens, parts
Metroid
1 and 2 is also
Prime,
included.
what we're calling Metroid Prime 4,
Dragon
really
Ball
is the
Z
5th game in the
Kakarot,
series
plus
to
a
be
new Power
developed, just the
Awakens set
4th to
punches
actually...
its way onto Nintendo Switch
Because
September
there is
24th.
an entirely different Metroid Prime 4 that was being developed,
Grab
then it
a
got
golf
cancelled.
club and get ready to tee
Kind of
off.
like the old Zeppelin airships, where Zeppelin would number
The
their
Mario
ships
Golf
not on the
Super
number
Rush
of
game
ships
launches
built,
soon.
but the number of ships designed.
Here's a quick glimpse
So like
into each of the
LZ-127
modes.
was the famous Graf Zeppelin, and there was
Standard
LZ-128, which is going to be a
Take your
bigger
time to
version of the
read the
Graf
wind and
Zeppelin,
terrain
and
on
they
the greens.
canceled that and replaced it with a new design, which became LZ-129, which we know is the Hindenburg,
different types
which
of
suffered
shots,
the infamous
aim for under
crash
par.
that was depicted in the newsreel footage in the Morrison radio broadcast.
Speed golf. Smack your ball, then chase after it. Be the
I mean,
first
it
to get
could
your
be-
ball in the hole.
Yeah, an M-rated game, it
Outpace
could be
your rivals with
Bayonetta.
special dashes and
I
special
wonder how
shots.
they'll do a kind of X-Parasite in terms of like hunting or stalking
golf.
Samus.
Duke it out over
In
9
a way
flag
that
marked holes in an obstacle
it just doesn't feel like a repeat of what they did with
Capture 3
Metroid
flags to
Fusion.
win.
Now, I loved Metroid
Golf
Fusion.
adventure.
I actually played through the entire game
Go from
twice, which
rookie
is
to
something I
pro
rarely
with
do
your
with any
lead
game, and
character.
I haven't played
The
Metroid
golfing
Fusion
challenges that
since
await may surprise you.
2004, perhaps. So
And
when I
here's some
eventually
news.
play through it on
3
stream,
updates are
I will
planned
be
for
pretty
future
much
release,
as close
including
to
additional
100%
courses
fresh
and
on it as I
playable
could possibly
characters.
get.
The fairway's almost open. So set your tee time
I do hope
and
they
get
go
ready
a
to
bit
ace
more,
those shots
have
in
options
Mario
to
Golf
where you can
Super
choose
Rush,
if you want it to be a
swinging
little
onto the
more
Nintendo Switch system
of a
June
guided
25th.
experience like Metroid
Pre-orders are
Fusion or
available now on Nintendo
Metroid
eShop.
Zero Mission, or if you want it to be totally free, total
Ready for
livery,
the
no
ride of a
clues or hints
lifetime?
or pointers like Super Metroid.
Welcome to the vast and vibrant world of Monster
I have
Hunter.
no history with Monster Hunter. And frankly, I'm
As a
kind
rider
of.
in this RPG adventure,
I mean, I know there are going to be
you'll
people that are
explore diverse
disappointed. I mean, there's some
landscapes
people
by
that are
riding
just
your
have
Monstie, a monster
or
companion.
intent on being dissatisfied. They're going to be dissatisfied with
Gather
today's
materials
direct, no
such
matter
as
what
honey
they do
and
at our
ore,
show.
then use them to craft
But,
items for your journey.
Like the Mario Party
But
collection
beware of
thing
the mini monsters
and
roaming
Metroid
about.
5.
Some are
Those two
docile,
alone
but
are
others
more than
may
what I
suddenly
would have hoped
ambush
for
you.
in terms of stuff that I would actually
To
purchase
fight,
myself.
You'll team up with your Monstie and use weapons and skills
Oh
to
yeah,
overwhelm enemy monsters
I've got to
in
text my
turn-based
dad about
battles.
Metroid
Win,
Metroid
and you'll
Dread.
be
He's gonna
rewarded
be
with their
happy
materials,
about that.
which can be forged into new weapons and armor.
Yeah, he's gonna be really happy about Metroid Dread.
Hey, is that an egg? You might be able to hatch
Because
a
he's
new
into
Monstie.
video games, just doesn't follow the
Incredibly
news all
powerful
that closely.
Monsties can also hatch from rare eggs.
Yeah, so
Need more traveling
and
buddies?
then Monster Hunter. There's
Join
just
up
so
with
many.
friends for co-op
There's,
multiplayer
I'm like
quests
neck
and
deep in
battles.
retro. Like between,
Buckle up, Ryder.
I
It's
decided
going to
I'm
be a
probably
real
not gonna
monster of an
play,
adventure.
sadly, and it's sad that I've even had to.
Monster
I'm probably
Hunter
not gonna
Stories
play
2: Wings of
the,
Ruin
the Pokemon
soars
Diamond
onto
and Pearl
Nintendo
remakes.
Switch July 9th. You can play the
Yeah,
free
probably
demo
not
on
the
June
Yoshi
25th
devs
and
into
carry over
gaming.
your save data to
Yeah.
the full game.
Because I never. Yeah, between.
Here's a new game from
Yes,
the head
WarioWare.
of
Oh my gosh,
certain
this
company.
has been a crazy E3 for me. I was just thinking about WarioWare yesterday.
Did you miss me? Hey, what do you mean? Who am I? It's a me. Wow.
Wow.
And it's just finally ready. A brand new
This is the
game
first time
from
you've had
my company. Check it out.
a great
You
deal
get to
of
control me.
Charles Martinet voiceover from
Time
Wario
to do this.
in the context of promoting a particular game and not just doing the Mario in real time thing.
Whack rats. Check out these chumps. They came back and they have wonderful new talents. Throw that stick thing.
So all the
Not
WarioWare
bad.
characters are
Use
appearing
the
in the
spinning
games
what
more so than
call it.
before.
Ha! Nailed it.
Oh,
Same
I see.
microgame,
So this time.
different abilities.
Oh.
What?
So there'll be
I almost
different
forgot
ways to
some big
approach the
news.
micro games.
Two people can play together at the same time.
Yeah, so the characters are all going to be involved within the micro games themselves, which wasn't always a thing
Not
in
nice.
the older games.
All right, you.
And
It's
so they
you,
all have
the
different
one
powers.
watching this. Better
So I
get
guess they'll
ready
be
for
controlled in
some
the quasi-platforming
microgame
style.
mayhem.
The WarioWare Get It Together game launches exclusively on the Nintendo
What is
Switch
this
system
weird thing about
September
Nintendo in the last couple of years?
Pre-orders
They
begin
keep
today
saying
on
game,
Nintendo
and they
eShop.
just, oh, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Oh, the new Metro.
What you just saw
Like they keep
was the
saying
trailer
game,
for
putting game at the end of
WarioWare.
things. It's so
Get It
odd. to
Together.
me.
In
The new
latest
WarioWare
installment
Get
of
It
this
Together
series,
game for
there
Nintendo
are
Switch.
new
Like the way they keep
microgames
saying
that let you
game is.
control Wario and his friends. There is also a two-player co-op mode, which greatly expands the gameplay. It's releasing in the near future, so stay tuned.
Oh wow.
Next,
This is
please
already
take a look at this.
Far more games than. Okay. What's this gonna be?
As a high school student living in Tokyo, your life is fairly normal.
Why is there apparently a pentagram on the school
But
emblem?
that reality is upended.
Because, like,
After
I know
you
nothing
get
about Shin
pulled
Megami Tensei, but
into
as soon as
a
I see a
different
pentagram on the
dimension.
school's emblem, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be some supernatural something, and school life plus supernatural, Japanese school life plus supernatural elements makes me think SMT.
Another Tokyo exists. A post-apocalyptic world where angels and demons reside. Suddenly, you fuse with a mysterious
looks like-
figure, gaining the power to fight
It
demons.
looks like he's kind of wearing Samus's
What
suit
lies
from
ahead in
Metroid
this
Dread.
alternate realm?
I can't wait to see what they do in terms of
The world is
The
now
new-
transformed
with-
into a sprawling, demon-infested wasteland. Though friendly demons do exist here, many are hostile and will attempt to destroy you. Harness your newfound
Yeah,
powers to fight demons using a command-based system. Finding their weak point
yeah, I'm not
is key.
big
By
into
targeting
traditional
it,
RPGs.
the number of consecutive
and,
actions you can perform in a combo will increase.
I'm not. Yeah, I have no history with SMT series.
Though demons are
Actually, I
formidable
did play.
opponents.
I think I
You
played.
may be able to recruit them via
I
negotiations.
think I might have played Jack
which begin
Brothers
when you
once
open a
on someone
conversation with
else's
them.
Virtual Boy. So I wonder. I know like this game's emphasis on
If the
like
negotiation is
interactions
successful,
with
a
the
demon
enemy
will
characters, the
become a
enemy monster
powerful
creature
ally.
characters, and the ability to have
In
non-violent
some
resolutions
cases,
kind of
by
was part of the
rejecting
inspiration
a
for
demon's
Undertale.
request, they may feel motivated.
You have
and
3DS
join
and
you
now Switch
as
for
an
years.
ally.
These SMT games went.
Demons
held
that
back
do
on
join
handheld
will fight
hardware.
alongside you and grow stronger.
Yeah, but at least at the
By
very least,
fusing
at least now it's
demon
actually
allies,
on an HD
another
system.
demon can be created.
So it's still held back by, yeah, you need to have it
The newly
hardware that
fused
can
demon's
run
innate abilities will vary,
without
granting you a
with
powerful
decent battery
ally,
life.
customized to your needs and
But
playstyle.
it's not going to be a thing where it's going to be like 3 generations behind like what the 3DS was.
Challenge the many
I mean, 3DS
demons
was
roaming
impressive
this
for its time. You
post-apocalyptic
know,
world
I mean, it
by
looked a
harnessing
generation
the
out.
power of your own.
I mean, let's say 3DS was a generation behind the Vita.
What destiny will
But
you choose?
the 3DS itself was
Shin Megami
impressive for a
Tensei 5 will launch
handheld,
exclusively
but it was
on
still like
Nintendo
maybe 3
Switch November
generations
12th.
behind, or 4 generations behind what was going on home
Pre-orders
consoles
for
at
the
the time.
physical version begin June 21st.
That was the latest trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5 from Atlas. This is the newest game in the series.
Yeah, I'm really shocked by how
Please
many
look
games
forward to future updates.
so far I'm genuinely interested in playing.
Let's see a few more Nintendo Switch headlines.
So let's see.
Celebrate 10 years of Danganronpa in despair.
I don't know anything about this franchise, so I'll use this.
Testing.
Now this is
Mic
a little
check,
interesting.
1, 2. This is a test of the school broadcast system.
So I've seen this character around. I didn't even know that this is the name of the character.
3 games in the deadly Danganronpa
Danganronpa.
series are coming to Nintendo Switch.
I am this school.
Monokuma, the self-proclaimed school headmaster, has trapped you and other high school students in a game of literal life and death. Unfortunately, the only way out of the school and this lethal
I'll never
game
play this,
is to
but,
betray the other students. And so it begins.
Yeah, that was the SMT that was revealed at
When a student meets their demise,
the
a class trial
January
will take place to
stage
reveal
show,
the
which was
culprit.
actually the last stage show of any kind that Nintendo's held. The January 2017
Use the
stage show
evidence
where they
you've gathered
released
to refute
a lot of the
contradictions
final
and find the guilty party.
info for the Nintendo Switch, which I actually saw at the Nintendo World Store. Crazy thing about the January... Hi, Bakura. The crazy thing about the January
Plus, the board game from
2017
Danganronpa V3
Switch
Killing
event
Harmony has been
is that there was a
expanded
part of
into
it that was
standalone
filmed with
game.
Reggie Miyamoto
Danganronpa
and
S,
Aonuma
Ultimate Summer
at the Nintendo World Store.
All-star cast of
And I was
characters
watching,
from
we were watching the
Danganronpa
event in the
series
Nintendo
will come
World Store,
together to battle at a tropical
but there was
resort.
one part
Who's the
where
strongest
we
of
were
them all in
watching
this ultimate
the
beach
screen
brawl?
with the
4-game
with
collection
the
Danganronpa
broadcast
Decades
on it,
launches
with the
as a
event,
physical exclusive
and
on Nintendo Switch
the
later this
on
year.
that screen, Reggie,
All
Aonuma, and
games will also
Miyamoto
be
were standing
individually
directly in front of
available
that
on
very
Nintendo
screen
eShop.
while they were filming the segment that we were watching. It was the coolest, weirdest thing.
We hope you're not afraid of ghosts.
Is this? I was gonna say I know nothing about Fatal Frame. I've watched my friend play through the first hour or so of the PlayStation 2 one that came to North America.
In this horror
And it's kind of
adventure
funny
game,
how this
you'll uncover the
series
mysteries
kind of
surrounding the
became
ethereal
a
but deadly Mount
low-key-
Ikami, believed
it's kinda
to
funny
be at
how
the center of many disappearances. Ghosts frequent this
associated with Nintendo,
Your
the
only
Fatal
defense
Frame
is a
series has
camera that
become,
can
because
repel
I
and cast
originally
them
know
out.
of it from the PS2 game.
mountain. Face your fears as you explore a variety of unsettling locations.
Yeah, so I'm probably
This
going
spine-chilling
to.
story
I mean,
features
just
various
Nintendo
protagonists,
alone, and
letting you experience
aside
the
from
game from
PC,
different
Switch is the only
perspectives. New
current
costumes
current
and photo
on the market
modes are
system I
included in
have.
this version. Can you investigate
Is
Mount Hikami and stay alive?
I guess I would say
Fatal
that
Frame,
no,
Maiden of Black Water,
Pokemon
creeps
Legends
onto Nintendo
Arceus,
Switch this year.
Metroid Dread, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Metroid Dread, the Mario
These
Party
games
game,
and
the
DLC are
Wario
coming
game.
soon.
Those
Some
are four
even today.
modern retail level releases.
Your war is
That's
not
a lot
over.
more than I'd ever
Raise
otherwise
hell
expect.
in the first campaign expansion for Doom Eternal, the Ancient Gods.
You know, it's funny that this game takes place. This game is about fighting demons and
more
going to hell
challenging
and
combat
fighting
awaits.
demons and monsters.
As you eliminate Hell's
When
newest threats,
Bethesda probably
demon-infested ruins and
committed
rain-swept terrain.
some kind of satanic ritual
The
to
fate
get
of the
this game
cosmos
to
is in
run
your
on the
hands.
Switch in an acceptable manner in the
Get
first
slaying
place.
when this campaign expansion launches on Nintendo Switch later today. Get ramped up for 2 iconic skateboarding games fully remastered in HD. Skate to era-defining jams.
Oh yeah,
as
that's
the
right. I guess
legendary
this did
Tony
not
Hawk
originally
and a
come out on
roster of
Switch. I
new
forgot
and
about
returning
that.
pros.
Originally, this was
Take your
PlayStation and
sessions on the go
Xbox.
with all the original game modes. And compete locally or online to show
I
off
never
your
played
tricks
any of
against
these games
other
for even a
skaters.
second. The closest I ever played
Drop
to anything
into
like
Tony
this,
Hawk's Pro
and this
Skater
is
1
really
and 2,
vague just because it's
launching on Nintendo
rollerblading,
Switch
but it's like
June
fictional
25th.
sci-fi
Pre-orders
rollerblading,
are
was
available now on
the
Nintendo
Jet Set
eShop.
Radio games on Dreamcast and Xbox.
After
And I also had the Game Boy Advance Jet Set Radio as well.
Queen has risen from the dead, and only one group
I-
of heroes can stop her.
No, they mentioned
Strange
online,
Brigade.
and
In
I
this
remember
thrilling
in like
adventure, you'll
what
blast through an army of mummified
E3
monstrosities while
2017
solving puzzles in
when
booby-trapped dungeons.
they announced
Go it
Super
alone
Mario
or
Party,
team up with other
and
daring adventurers
initially
in
they didn't
local
announce any
wireless co-op
online, and
online
on
play.
the Nintendo
Expect the
some
unexpected.
section of the
when
internet,
Strange Brigade
people
launches on Nintendo
people
Switch
agree to
later
anything
today.
Nintendo says. We're like, oh, you know, it's good that there's no online because online is against the spirit of what Mario Party
It's
is
a new
about.
adventure of
This
cosmic
I
proportions.
don't care. I know people love it. Apparently, it's a great game.
Mario and his friends will
But
team
I'm
up with the rabbits
very
once again to
frustrated.
restore
Well,
order to the galaxy.
I don't like this type of
Our
game
heroes
anyway.
must stop a mysterious
But then just
new evil
thematically,
from plunging the universe
conceptually,
into chaos.
It's like someone like unsealed an ancient
Rabbit
shrine
Rosalina
and
joins
found a
them.
wishing idol,
Is she
like a
bored
cursed
already?
wishing idol.
Explore
And
planets
the
filled with
cursed
quirky
wishing idol
residents
said
and
you could
even
have
quirkier
one
secrets.
wish for whatever you want and it will come true.
And in this fresh take
And so
on the
someone
tactical
wished for
genre,
a Super Mario
our heroes can run
Rayman
freely around the
crossover,
battlefield, creating new
and so the
strategic
wishing
and chaotic
idol like
possibilities.
gave them
So aim for
like a
victory
Rabbids
with a little
Mario
help from your
crossover
friends.
that has nothing to do with Rayman. It's like, how can I come as close as possible to technically
Well,
being a
one thing's
Rayman Mario
certain,
crossover while
This is gonna
completely
be one
missing the
heck of a
point?
galactic adventure.
So,
Mario
yeah.
plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope launches into space or onto Nintendo Switch next year.
Oh, is this Advance Wars? Yeah. They said Orange Star Nation. I'm like, that sounds like from a little. Oh wow, it's the first Advance Wars. I just played the original version of this on Game Boy Advance last summer. I played through the demo part of it. Yeah, like I never even cleared the demo. As the demo got more and more complex, I really couldn't keep up with it anymore, especially in a streaming environment. But even just for the tutorial, I was having a ton of fun with that game. Yeah, so
Thrilling stories.
Yeah, I was having a lot
memorable
of
characters and vibrant gameplay are in store as you lead the commanding officers to victory. Play the first 2 Advance
Oh,
Wars
it's Advance Wars
campaigns
1
in
and 2.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Marching on to Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's
this
a clever
holiday.
name, Reboot
Pre-orders
Camp.
begin today on Nintendo eShop.
How is everything? All right. This next segment will be our last announcement of the day. Please
Oh.
take a look.
Come on, Zelda. It's gotta be Zelda. Gotta be Zelda. Wait. Age of Calamity expansion pass. There's gotta be actual Breath of the Wild sequel stuff in here. No, like, even with all that I've been... Wait, they didn't talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus? No. Well, the thing is, Nintendo knows how to... Well, Mechacon, Nintendo knows how to do showmanship, right? But at the same time, Nintendo could also be completely clueless at times. So they're either putting things in place for some really good showmanship and a good surprise at the end. Yeah, but it's E3. I mean... Wave 1 plus the entrance. Yeah, they have other directs for other stuff, but come on, come on. Okay, here we go. Come on, please.
Hello there. I'm Eiji Aonuma, producer of the Legend of Zelda series. What
Come
you've
on.
just seen is a trailer for the first wave of DLC for the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass from Koei Tecmo Games. It will follow Link and his allies through more battles that took place 100 years prior to the events of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I hope you'll look forward to it. I have a few more things to share with you all today.
Alright, here we go.
We'll begin with The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword
Skyward
HD
Sword.
game, which launches
I don't know,
next
there's
month.
so many... Playing this with button controls,
You'll immerse
it's like,
yourself
I
in the
don't
role of
hate the
Link
motion
by
controls,
using
they
two
just...
Joy-Con
I feel like they
controllers for
overdid the
intuitive
motion controls, and just knowing...
or by playing in handheld mode.
Story-wise, some of
Wielding
the stuff
sword
they
via
did
flicking
with the
stick
game kind of
and
just
button
turned me
only
off from
controls.
even getting through the first
This
dungeon.
game depicts the oldest era in
And-
the Legend of Zelda series, the story of how it all began.
The story of how
What
it all
is the
began, yet there are
origin of the
also
Master
ruins
Sword?
from even older ancient
Why
civilizations,
did a woman
so
named
whatever.
Zelda become the legend for future generations?
What I hate
These
about
will all
this,
be unraveled
like
in
Skyward
this
Sword,
game.
like so much of the lore was so unnecessary to me. Like we already
We
had a
hope you're looking
backstory
forward to
for
The Legend of
Ganondorf.
Zelda,
He was a
Skyward Sword
king
HD.
from the desert who took over Hyrule, and now we need even further backstory.
Next up, here's a little something you might like. This is a Game & Watch system that lets you play 3 games
Huh.
in the Legend of Zelda series. This
3
year,
games?
the original Legend of Zelda game reaches its
Awakening, come on.
35th anniversary.
Link's
While we
Awakening.
don't have any campaigns or other Nintendo Switch games planned, we've been working on this Game & Watch system as a special item to help mark the occasion and reflect fondly on the earliest days of The Legend of Zelda.
Imagine taking this back in time to the 80s.
It will come with the first game in the series, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2,
Adventure of Link.
The Adventure of Link,
Yes, I
and the
called
Game
it.
Boy version of The Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
Link's
it's the black and
Awakening
white
game,
version.
as well as a special version of the
It's
Game
a
& Watch
the
title
black and white
Vermin,
version of Link's
starring
Awakening.
Link as the
I
playable
might-
character. So that's 4 games on one system, from
I
longer
might
Legend
get
of Zelda
this.
games to the pick up and play game Vermin.
I might, because
In
of Link's
addition,
Awakening, I might
regarding the
actually
watch
get that.
functionality for the Game & Watch system. We've added a playable
Yeah, I guess I
clock
called
based
it.
on the Legend
I didn't
of
think it
Zelda,
would happen, but I called it.
and an interactive timer.
Yeah,
themed
because they
after
put
Zelda
Link's
2,
Awakening
The
on there.
Adventure of Link.
No, and if it was the color version of Link's Awakening, I wouldn't care. Because it's
You
the
can play
black
with
and
both
white
of them
version.
by
That's
taking
what really
control
does
of
it.
Link.
That's what really does it.
We hope you'll enjoy playing this Game & Watch system
Yeah.
whenever and wherever
This is
you
the
like.
first time Nintendo's re-released the black and white version of Link's Awakening ever.
All right, here's the last thing we have to show you. This
All
is
right.
the sequel to The Legend of Zelda, Breath
Okay,
of the
here we
Wild.
go.
2
Here we
years
go.
have
Let's see.
passed
I
since
think
we
it's going to have
first
something to do
announced
with
this game,
Link's
and
arm
we've
being
been
cursed and
unable to
being able to
share anything
transform or
with you
something
in
like
that
that.
time.
I think that's what one of
However,
the things we're going to get into.
development has
And whatever's
been
going on with the
steadily
castle
progressing.
levitating
For today,
is going to cause
we've prepared
dungeons
some
from
new
ancient
footage
times
to
to
show a
appear
bit
in
more of the
Hyrule.
game.
Those are my
Please
predictions.
take a look.
Those are my predictions. It's been a long 2 years. I mean, that's clearly Ganondorf, at least I think. Let's see. Any Skyloft? What am I looking at? Well, I mean, we'll see, but... New rune powers? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild plus cats. Legend of Zelda Return to the Wild? I don't know. It's frozen. What's happening? Oh, it's I missed the title. I missed the title. They'll say it here.
So, what did you think? This time around, the setting for the adventure has been expanded to include the skies above Hyrule. We'd like to ask you to wait a bit longer. We're aiming for a 2022 release, so I hope you'll look forward to it.
Yeah, I do like the more radical transformations between Zelda
That's
games.
all for this Nintendo Direct.
One thing I love about Zelda games is you can have Ocarina, with very few exceptions, like Ocarina of Time,
forward to what's in store on Nintendo Switch.
Maybe some parts of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask you can mix up with each other. But aside from that, especially with the 3D games, all the Zelda games, you could tell apart at a glance that they're not the same game. Very few, even Mario games sometimes struggle with that. You could always tell them apart. After Breath of the Wild 2, what I hope happens is that we get a... What was the new Zelda game called? I missed my screen hung up during the part where they revealed the title screen for Zelda.
As you know, at Nintendo, we're all about creating experiences that deliver surprises and smiles. And I have to say, I found myself smiling through that entire
look on Twitter
presentation,
now that there's no more spoilers.
thinking about how many unique games we'll be able to share with everyone in the weeks and months ahead. Nate, that last clip was incredible.
Oh yeah, we didn't see any Splatoon 3. I'm surprised.
Where do we start? What did you think?
Oh, well, Doug, they had me at the first mysterious red tendril. You know what a massive Zelda fan I am. But that's 2022, and I'm frankly just looking forward to seeing all the games that are in the pipeline just over the next couple months for Nintendo Switch.
I can't see
Got
anything.
Mario Party Superstars, WarioWare Get It Together, the expansion for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Mario Golf Super Rush, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, and of course Metroid Dread. I am just not going to be getting any work done, and you should know that.
Age of Calamity's
that's okay.
trending,
I think I may
Nintendo
be in the
Direct is
same
trending.
camp. And Mario
Switch
Golf
is
Super Rush
trending.
launches in just a few weeks on June the 25th. By the way, Nate, do you know why Luigi brings 2 pairs of pants to the golf course with him?
Doug, are we doing the dad joke thing again?
We are. In case he gets a hole in one. But seriously, everyone, this game is just packed with content. You can play in standard golf mode.
There was no title. They
left
left it untitled. Okay.
The golf adventure mode,
Riho
and the option to
Magnifica.
play with buttons or motion
No,
controls.
because it froze
And you
right
can
during
play
the
with
spot
up
where
to
you'd
4
expect to see the
people
title.
locally or
It's
online.
interesting, and I'm
I
kind
can
of
say this
relieved.
one is
There
definitely
was
going to
less
be taking up the majority of
recycling
my summer gaming
of.
time.
Oh yeah, you and me both.
Like,
and there's plenty more to
I
come.
kind of just expected,
and as for today,
like, whatever
our
earthquake thing was
pre-show is
happening with
just getting started. Next
Hyrule
up, we
Castle
have,
was going
of
to
course,
cause just new
Nintendo
dungeons
Treehouse
to
Live,
appear in
and we'll be
parts of
kicking off our
Hyrule,
first
but
segment
they were
with a very special
basically just
guest,
going to, like,
Yojo
recycle the
Sakamoto,
same
who
Hyrule.
is the
It looks like they're
producer of
actually
Metroid
adding a
Dread.
lot more
And he's
new
gonna be sharing his
lands or
insights
places to
on-
explore, which will be
I can't believe I'm saying
interesting.
this, but it's the first new 2D Metroid game in nearly 2 decades. I'm not going to miss it, and I know you've been looking forward to it as well.
Absolutely, I am so looking forward to this. And we do have our Treehouse team on deck for a gameplay deep dive into Metroid Dread, WarioWare Get It Together, and more games in a mix of both live and pre-recorded segments today. And I'd just like to say as we close, how deeply
we're
grateful
gonna play this
we are
right
to
here.
everyone watching today.
Maybe
Thank
I'll
you for
go
sharing
about
this time with us, and we hope
another
you enjoy
hour
it.
into this,
Yep.
and we'll
Thanks
see
again,
how it
everyone. We can't wait to hear
how
what
it
you think.
feels.
And with that, I'll turn it
In
over to
terms of just
Sakamoto-san and the Treehouse
me
team.
providing quality content in terms of. All right, so let's hear about this. Yeah, Wii U was weird because it's like Nintendo made a bunch of good games that nobody wanted because they didn't like the system. Because like when Nintendo was releasing Switch game. Oh, okay, this will be interesting. This will be interesting.
2D メトロイドの完全新作メトロイドドレッドをやっと発表できました。
Sakamoto has some issues, but whatever.
1986年のメトロイドから始まってメトロイド2、スーパーメトロイド、メトロイドフュージョンと続いてきたシリーズの19年ぶりの最新作、そして最新エピソードになります。メトロイドシリーズはサムス・アランという女性バウンティーハンターの活
It
躍
looks
を
like a
描い
mix
た
of
ゲ
the
ームで
fusion
す。
suit with
タ
the
イトルの
more
メトロイドっていうのは
mechanical
生
sort
物
of elements of
兵
a
器として
traditional
軍事
suit.
利用できる浮遊生命体の名前でいろんなトラブルのきっかけになってきました。 シリーズではそのメトロイドと主人公サムスとの奇妙な関係性を
Now, is
綴
this
ってき
going
ました
to
が、
like try to retcon, like, because other M was also really annoying because it literally retconned the Metroid Prime games out of existence, which was a huge
想像
insult
し
to the
な
game.
がらプレイしていただきたいですね。ストーリーは重要ですが、決してファンのためだけのゲームではないです。基本は 2D アクションゲームなので、銀が最強の戦士になりきって暴れてもらえれば誰でも楽しんでもらえるはずです。これが初めてのメトロイドという人でもゲームのプロローグを見ても
Oh
ら
wow,
え
we've
れば
got
ストーリーがわからないということ
depiction of stuff from Metroid Fusion.
むしろ今作が初メトロイドという人だからこその楽しみ方もあるんじゃないでしょうかね。タイトルになっているドレッドの意味は恐怖です。無敵のサムス・アランを襲う絶望的な恐怖を表すタイトルです。一言もない惑星で一人で行動するサムスに忍び寄る圧倒的な存在というように今までとは一味違う要素が追加された。実はメトロイドドレッドのアイデアは15年ほど前に思いついたんですよ。ただ当時の技術ではコンセプトをうまく表現できないなと思って、残念ながら諦めました。その後も再チャレンジのチャンスはあったんですが、イメージ通りのゲームにまとめられそうにないなと思ってまた諦めることになりました。正直この企画を諦めることになるかなと思ってたんですが、 3DS のサムスリターンズを共同開発したマーキュリースティームエンターテインメントがすごく優秀なチームだったんです。技術力は高いしセンスもいいし、なんといってもメトロイドというゲームの理解が半端なかったんです。
So Samus Returns led to this, so I guess Mercury Steam is working on it.
メトロイドドレッドは必ず完成すると確信しました。そして15年前に思い描いた以上のメトロイドドレッドがこうやって完成しました。今回登場するエミーを一言で言うとめっちゃ恐ろしい敵ですね。実は銀河連邦所有の調査ロボットなんです。
Yeah, I bet the Federation really has it in for Samus after the stuff that happened in Fusion.
物音を感知して近づいてきます。視覚センサーで見られてしまうと捕まえるために
So this is some more SAX type stuff, it seems.
サムスの通常の武器は一切効きません。しかも捕まるとほぼ即死。これは厳しいですね。サムスはそんな恐怖と戦いながらミッションを遂行しなければならないんですね。今回のサムスは一段と大変ですね。
Well, I'm glad I almost flat out spoiled the end of Fusion, so I'm glad I didn't say anything.
検知範囲内であっても音を立てなければエミーは気づきません。物陰に隠れて見られないようにもできます。そして対抗手段の代表格がサムスがエミーから見えなくなるファントムクロークという光学迷彩アビリティです。これの使い方がゲームの進行を大きく作用します。歯が立たない敵に見つからないように行動するエミーのゲームパートはメトロイド体系の強烈なスパイスになっている。
So they really just kind of, it seems like they're doing things they wanted to maybe do with the SAX in Metroid Fusion, but the Game Boy Advance just didn't have the technology for it exactly. Yeah, if you didn't like the SAX escape segments and yeah, I do like the new suit because the fusion suit was cool because it made Samus look like a predator that was out hunting the X parasites. It made it look a little more wild, a little more feral. Especially with like the barbs on her arm and everything. Oh, cool. But then this suit looks like she took the fusion suit, which was more of sort of a skin tight, more biological looking suit, and then added more armor on top of that. And even there were some brief moments where they show like the fusion suit is depicted in this art style, and it looks a lot more biological than the last version was. Than it traditionally looked in the artwork for the game. それらのアクションでサムスの行動範囲が広がっていくという仕組みです。 Yeah, so it seems like this is going to be actually on board a planet instead of a spaceship. Spider magnet. Oh, it's like the spider ball, but she's actually fully able to operate. She's not stuck in ball form while using it like the spider ball.
よりダイナミックになった快適なアクションによる自由な探索と自分が追われる身となって行動する恐怖という2種類の刺激が融合したメトロイドドレッドはシリーズ経験のあるなしにかかわらず楽しんでいただけます。新しいデザインのメトロイドをこの後の任天堂ツリーハウスライブで紹介します。ダン、よろしく。
So we're gonna get to see some live gameplay. I'm very surprised we didn't see Pokemon Legends Arceus. I really thought that was going to be a bigger deal for them. But, you know, like they said, they can... It's early, I think it's January or February next year, Legends Arceus, so they can do that in a later Nintendo Direct.
Thanks, Sakamoto-san. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nintendo Treehouse Live.
I'm surprised they didn't even do, like,
excited about
the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, because those are coming out this year.
Of Metroid Dread.
But honestly, the Diamond and Pearl remakes don't impress me enough, sadly. Because in previous generations, the remakes were always sort of a progression of what they did with the main series game. And this one, the remakes are not even, they're a totally separate thing from the main series. It's not using the same engine. Because even as unimpressive as Sword and Shield's graphics are to me, and I mean, I main Nintendo Switch, so I'm not a hardcore.
The very beginning of the game. So we're going to backtrack just a little bit to show
incorporate some Pokemon
Samus's,
stuff into other
here.
regular Nintendo Directs. So I guess they can do a standalone Pokemon Direct later.
Few missiles, so I'm going to use this interactive here to replenish. But one of the things I want to show here is free aim, which
one thing I am
those
kind of
that
worried
have played,
about.
Metroid Samus Returns. This is
in Metroid Samus Returns, it looked like they were getting a bit into some of that more complex stuff with
the area around as you use it.
With a little more combo and combat type stuff.
System that
hey,
when it's targeting an enemy.
Type Elf, thanks for joining. Thanks for following. I'm generally I'm basically a retro streamer. This is my first stream for my new location. I usually stream at least once a week. I just moved cross country, so
that's a lot of years. We've been
while I get settled in my new home, I'm going to be
we're really excited.
I'm not going to be regular for the next probably couple of weeks, but I'll be back to regular soon. I do a lot of retro with emphasis on Nintendo, but I was a Sega kid back in the early '90s, so
which is the melee counter.
And actually, I've even streamed a little DOS because I was
one of my favorite.
One of those, I was a DOS gamer back in the day as well.
And then a new one is
trading games on
the
floppy
development
disks.
of the melee counter.
Yeah, all the stuff with like melee counters and like combos and special moves. Like Metroid Fusion, Metroid Samus Returns. Like, even some of the stuff in Metroid Other M, I mean, not talking about the missile thing, because that was just kind of messy, even though it was a cool idea. They just felt like it needed more refinement.
I can immediately do
but when it comes to stuff like
damage to an enemy.
The countering and the special moves that I saw in Samus Returns, it looks like, okay, this is getting into a range where it's getting a bit too complicated for me
the melee counter in that game.
To keep up with like I could in the Game Boy Advance Metroid games.
And the dash melee, so instead of having to
Arteria, like just the name of that, Arteria, yeah, that sounds exactly like a place in Metroid. Because there's like Criteria or whatever, like Arteria. That sounds exactly like a place that would be in a Metroid game.
Well, and it's just all that.
Yeah, so he says they have a Federation robot that's hunting her down to kill her, and then the end of
and you've opened up the map screen here.
Spoilers for the end of Metroid Fusion here. You can mute for the next. You can mute until I put down my fidget spinner.
The map system
so I'll give you a chance to mute. When I put the fidget spinner down, you can stop. So at the end of Metroid Fusion, Samus destroys the BSL laboratory that has a bunch of banned biological experiments from the Federation, including breeding Metroids and X-Parasites to make biological weapons. Samus destroys the ship by crashing into SR-388 while activating the ship's self-destruct system, so it blows up the planet and the space station.
This area here is blinking white because there's
so I would, at this point, Samus would probably be an outlaw from the Federation government. So it could be potentially that she is maybe going to another. She's maybe searching for the black box that has the data tapes of the space station. So you could use that to clear a name or something like that. Just one potential idea for what's could be going on in this new Metroid game.
It is really a a part of the charm of Metroid, though, having this
Oh, they sped up the countering?
renewed
I don't even
sense
know.
of purpose in your backtracking paired with pushing forward.
I've already watched just from what little I've seen of the countering stuff in Samus Returns, and I've probably from this point onward I've probably seen more of this game than I've seen of Samus Returns. I just know it looked really complicating and potentially tiring. Like honestly, like Breath of the Wild is about as complex and hectic of game in terms of combat and like real-time menuing and the user in the interface that I could really handle as a gamer. I'm really more into more simplistic,
little moments like this when
user-friendly
you're in
stuff.
the helmet view for a moment really add to the isolation and the tone of this game.
Yeah, no, this game is a sequel to Metroid
Alright,
Fusion.
so
see
you won't be
her
playing in
suit
that
looks
mode,
a
but there are
little bit
points where they
different
show.
than that, so that'll be a story element that people will find out what happened when they play the game. You don't want to spoil too much.
Alright, so they're going to keep the story
These
elements
are the
secret
Emi
for now.
that Sakamoto-san was talking about, and none of Samus's weapons seem to
Oh, it
do
says
anything
it
against
says
them.
an Emmy's attack. So there's apparently more than one of these because
Yep. Oh, that slide move is
earlier on they were talking about this thing like it was a unique
Yep,
unit
it
that
is.
was
Nope.
stalking
Oh, no,
Samus,
just-
but here it makes it seem like there are multiple instances.
missiles
There are
don't work
multiple
either.
Emmy
Oh my
robots that are
So
following
if you're
Samus around.
about this being called Dread, that would be why.
They're very relentless.
Oh my!
Okay.
Oh wow!
Oh, I love how
okay.
it's slowly crawling up the.
Did a little reach for me there.
Yeah.
That was new.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one's clearly not well, but it's still quite frightening.
Yeah. I'm glad that it's
Yeah, that
a
one
bit
looks like it's already
damaged and can't
damaged.
completely reach to me, but we're gonna have to find a different way to tackle that enemy.
You know, this thing is
Oh, I
a,
like how those space
central unit
butterfly
which,
things were.
controls various areas of the planet. It's sort of a biomechanical computer, kind of a homage to maybe similar units in previous Metroid games. And from this unit, Samus can power up, get a temporary power up for her arm cannon and turn it into the Omega cannon.
Temporary power-ups, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, in typical 2D Metroid fashion, we've always seen the camera like panned around here, and now with the Omega cannon ability, there's this dynamic camera that you get to see over Samus's shoulder, which is so cool.
I like how it lights up when you're
Yeah,
able
little
to shoot a
additions
relevant
like that
target.
really flesh out the classic 2D gameplay without it feeling like it strays too far from what we loved about it.
Mm-hmm. Just makes it seem really powerful.
Yeah, I'm just glad
Let's
that,
see if this works
like
against
after
our,
Other M, I really was afraid that non-first-person
Frontier.
Metroid was going to be dead from that point. Oh, you have to shoot it right in the eye.
It does.
Don't wait too long.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to make sure I had it line
Yep.
of sight.
I hope you enjoyed that. That's your one shot at it.
Yeah, so it was so powerful that in order to take that Emmy down, we lose the ability of the Omega cannon, and it goes back to.
Okay, so there are going to be puzzles to destroy this where.
Easy now.
It was
for a moment.
I'm just looking at.
I also want to point out while you're scrolling your way through all of these different halls.
Yeah, I
there's
cannot
so
wait to
many
look at all the
different ways to
reactions
play
for
this
Metroid
game.
Dread.
Like Teresa is amazing with a missile. She's the queen of the missiles, but you can also just shoot your regular arm cannon. You can try and avoid
Looking if
enemies
there are any of those
altogether.
weird
Try and
random
hit them
Nintendo
all.
things. It's
really,
like,
it's
oh,
up
by
to
the way,
you
we also
what kind of
announced
Samus you
a new
want to
F-Zero.
Yeah, and
Just via Twitter, because they'll do weird
as
stuff like
Audrey
that
pointed
sometimes.
out too earlier, that you could use free aim to do more like line of sight shooting, but you could also just free aim shoot while you're moving as well.
It's good because you need to shoot a lot of different things in this game.
So many different
Yeah.
things. I want to see a pixelated door, and now I'm filled with dread.
Yeah, this is a new entryway.
Yep, these are the entries to the various zones that the Emmy are patrolling.
All right,
And,
so
once you're
while
in
I talk
there,
about this,
you need to be on the lookout for those.
in terms of, okay, the new Mario Party, I gotta get that.
Yeah,
New
you can hear in
WarioWare,
the background,
low on the
music
list,
is
but
so
I think that comes out
atmospheric. It
relatively
really
recently as
puts you
well,
on pins and
relatively
needles
soon.
just listening to it.
But no,
very. I
Mario,
am
that Mario
completely
Party,
honest. Really
whatever that was
easily
called, with the old maps and a mix of old and new minigames. Gotta get that. Older and newer Mario Party minigames. Gotta get that right. Then, Pokemon Pokemon Legends Arceus, that comes out early next year. Gotta get that.
It is to have an HD,
what else?
2D Metroid game.
And then the Zelda Game & Watch. I'd like to get that, but that's probably just gonna be one of those ridiculous things that it's not quite worth me getting.
Hey, it was worth a shot.
Just try again. Maybe it'll work on this one.
But really, what frustrates me, why don't they just do? I wish they just do a Game Boy Classic Edition, but it seems like these Game & Watch things are gonna be as close as we get to that. Where they just put even a couple of dozen, or even just a dozen, I'd take. Just a little thin Game Boy, like original Game Boy style thing with a bunch of classic black and white Game Boy games on it that Nintendo has the rights to.
That's my recommendation.
Yeah, when they go into this patrol mode.
Oh yeah, that slide's going to be pretty important. They're using it extensively.
Until they sort of lose track of you.
It's still trying to get at her.
Oh yeah, it's still looking around, but.
Ooh. Find another way to get to me.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it's my heart throbbing through my hands or if the controller.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna just get up and stretch for a minute. Step outside.
They're terrifying species.
I'll be back.
She makes it seem
we'll
like
go
she's
for
calm, cool, collected, and badass. I like to pretend that she's actually as nervous as I am
maybe
when I play
another
it, but
hour at the most. And then I'm probably just going to.
The backgrounds, like the amount of detail that the development team has put into. Like,
what should I do?
Not just the enemies in the forefront, but also in the background.
Actually, I don't really need to get up.
You guys can
it's
tell
not like I need to stretch or anything. I've only been streaming for about an hour and a half.
Doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
About an hour. About an hour and a half, not counting my whole screen. Actually, so I'm gonna stay here for a minute. We'll see what they follow up after this Metroid segment.
Yeah, if you want to be a bounty hunter,
and
pay attention to detail.
If I'm feeling what comes right after Metroid, like if they go straight into like WarioWare, I don't want to see, because a lot of the fun of WarioWare is just being completely like fresh on stuff like what mini games they are and how they work, and having to figure it out in those few seconds they give you. So if they go into WarioWare after this,
the thing about Metroid enemies
I'm gonna throw things over to someone else.
Some of them have patterns and you can counter them.
If
and
they go into
like
Mario Party, then I'll stay. I'll stay for that. I'll stay for Mario Party.
Move him out of the way so I can.
If it's anything other than.
And this room is a communication.
If they go to WarioWare, I'm gonna end the stream there.
Who happens to be?
If they go to Mario Party, I'll keep going. If it's anything else, I'll probably end it there because I can't imagine myself having too much to talk about.
We're going to skip
I actually
this
do
part
have a
here just because
decent
we don't want to
handheld,
spoil any
decent,
of the lore. But Dan, if you could summarize for the
arrange
folks at
a
home.
decent amount of stuff
so
to
as
look
Sam
forward
is
to this year.
Exploring, she uploads
some people are
data
probably
to
going to
Adam,
rate this low just because
and
no Metroid Prime 4. Honestly, Metroid Dread is the only thing that could have possibly made up for the lack of Metroid Prime 4. Considering they announced this game back in 2017, I think what happened with the Metroid Prime 4 announcement is that, yeah, Switch was selling good out the gate. There was absolutely no guarantee that that was going to keep, that momentum was going to be able to be sustained. And you could have a Dreamcast-like situation where initially you have record-breaking sales, and then it just, the momentum just dies, and the system ends up floundering. So I think Nintendo was like, okay, we've got to instill as much confidence as possible in the system. Therefore, we're going to announce Metroid Prime 4 as soon as possible, even if it's just a logo. And then well, first off, I think it was allegedly it was Bandai Namco or Namco Bandai or whatever that were handling the original version of Metroid Prime 4. Apparently, they were having problems with it.
Yeah, and it's really cool too.
And the Switch ended up being a long-term success anyway, so there wasn't this extreme pressure to get out Metroid. Like they weren't depending on it for the future to establish a long life for the Wii, for the Nintendo Switch. I almost call it the Wii U.
Heavy, intense action. Yeah. So here's
I love these backgrounds are fantastic.
Nope. That was the Emmy, as Dan had
very
mentioned.
Well made, like hide and seek sort of platforming area right here.
Surveillance. The other is, which is marked with blue. They're just scanning the area. This red mode's so intense. I'm like playing a game of chase with it. Oh.
How do you get out of here?
And then when it has
I feel like they're just doing stuff they wanted to do with the SAS encounters in Metroid Fusion, but couldn't quite pull it off.
Chase mode. Oh, okay.
Hey, hey Rude Boy, I saw you. I was lurking a bit last night when you were playing Fortnite. This is my first stream from my new apartment. So did you, before you walked into the stream just now, did you know that this was coming, Rude Boy? Or did you catch wind of this, or did you just find out when you came into my stream?
Relentless and ruthless. It is sort of like a
I haven't really been
permadeath,
too much off
very
of the
unusual,
internet
for,
since
enemies
I haven't been
in the
really out
Metroid
of the
series,
stream.
Luckily, it's not.
I've just been here for the most part,
the
so I really
game's
don't know
pretty
what the buzz is
forgiving.
like, what's going on.
It allows you to respawn at an area that you were in recently, so we're able to just go back and counter that again.
Yeah, as T said, insta-kill is new to the series, but it's really great because it offers a chance for you to have that challenging difficulty that I think Metroid fans expect, but without being quite so punishing with the respawning that you just have to play the whole game to get back to where you are. So it's a really wonderful balance.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
when
because I didn't even take note of that.
Mode, which is
they just spawn you right back where you left off.
Right now, it's in pursuit
Yeah,
of
so
me.
this is one of the first things they showed in the Nintendo
They're
Direct.
scanning areas
This is Metroid 5 we're looking at right here.
And so
yeah, so Metroid Prime 4 still no, which is technically the fifth Metroid Prime mainline Metroid Prime thing to be developed because the original Metroid Prime 4 was announced in 2017 and then it got canceled, so they're starting from scratch. It was really kind of the fifth game.
Touch, the way that Samus moves.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be living out of suitcases. This is where I'm at is good, but I want to get another place, so I don't want to get too comfy. Plus, there's not a whole lot of space here. I want a place where I can spread out a bit more. But I've got a rock solid internet connection through rock solid Wi-Fi through this Google thing. That was the only available solution. I didn't expect it to work, but it did. Because before I was using an Ethernet cable, you know, for a wired connection that was stable at my old apartment. But this place, it's kind of funny, like, because I moved. I'm in the same country, and I don't know how far the distance is. I might be like the distance from like, I might be literally the distance from like Southampton to the border of Scotland, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm moving. It's you know, and it's, so for living in the U.S., it's like, yeah, it's a major move, but it's not a huge move. Whereas if I was living in a normal-sized country, like the UK, it would be like, yeah, I'm moving like halfway across like the country pretty much.
Here is a map room. So interacting with
they announced
room
Metroid 5, which is going to be Metroid Dread. This is a project they started that was rumored back in like 2005-06. And then they canceled it before they never officially announced it, but it was being like leaks of rumors were coming out.
Game, which occurs
and
in the events post Metroid
then,
Fusion. And so that's why Samus's look looks different. But also to point out, back to Audrey's point about, you know, the game is about exploration and action, and so this area map.
So this takes place after Metroid Fusion. Rude Boy, if you're familiar with Metroid, so it looks like Samus added some, because there's a normal traditional orange like power suit or various suit, and then most big piece of it got cut off at the beginning of Metroid Fusion because she was fused with the X parasite. So they like surgically removed parts of her suit, and when she got the Metroid vaccine, it looked like
really juicy lore.
I guess like her suit became more biological in nature and like more skin tight.
If you've never played a Metroid game before, it really.
And now it looks like she added new like metal armor on top of the more sort of biological sort of wetsuit like
you have a lot to look
fusion
forward
suit.
to. As Sakamoto-san said, this concludes the story arc between Samus and the Metroids. So. We've been waiting a long time for this, and it delivers.
This concludes the story between Samus and the Metroids. I felt like that was.
Like item pinata.
I mean, I thought Super Metroid did that. Then I thought Metroid Fusion did that. So apparently the Metroids are back again.
It grants you replenishment for energy and also missiles. So definitely want to defeat.
Oh, you're plugging my stream on your Discord? Oh, thank you. I know you invited
me
to plug. You invited me to Discord. It's like, oh, plug your stream. I just said hi, and then I actually didn't actually plug my stream. So you're just gonna do it for me. Well, thank you.
Another little interesting detail about this game.
I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream. I'm going to watch the rest of this. If they go to they announced a new WarioWare game, and the appeal of WarioWare games is going in as fresh as possible and having to figure out what to do on the fly. So if they cover WarioWare, I'm not going to watch that. I'm going to end the stream there. but if it goes into the new Mario Party game, that they announced a Mario Party, like they did a Mario Party Top 100, which is pretty much a mini game collection on 3DS, and like the dying days of the 3DS's lifespan.
In order to counter in this game,
actually, what I can do
you can actually sometimes counter before they start their attack.
Here's a throwback. So I have
throw
to
that
use
up
a missile
there.
in order to destroy that cover, and then I'm able to access that door.
Just one missile, though. That's good.
Come on.
Oh, of course.
No, what's happening? Why isn't it showing up?
There you go. I got it.
Yeah. That's the other thing about the dash melee.
Okay, there we go. That's what I want to see.
If you use that on an enemy, you will get, I think, a few more extra items.
Here's our first upgrade. The charging beam. So very iconic.
Let's mute
the Metroid series.
Let's mute the game.
So Samus, starts off without any abilities and slowly becomes more powerful and able to tackle.
Yeah, I wonder what explanation they have this time around for Samus starting off with relatively few abilities.
You weren't able to before.
Yeah, and suit upgrades are another classic part
so
of
that's
Metroid
me.
gameplay.
So I'm going to be playing the little pinball on the side while we watch this.
I love you can see if you keep an eye on the background.
And we lose the ball immediately.
Kind of, cool statues and architecture that really piques your curiosity about the lore of this world.
So did Metroid? This is by the Mercury Steam, which were the developers of Metroid: Samus Returns on 3DS. Was there any sort of scanning elements in? Hey, Milo 120, how you doing?
Some more life, which
so we just watched Nintendo's E3 Nintendo Direct, and now I'm playing Nintendo's Versus Pinball on Nintendo Switch with the Switch Pro controller while we watch the Treehouse live coverage of Metroid 5, Metroid Dread, which just got announced for the Nintendo Switch. So no Metroid Prime. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the.
You really get
I just moved. I just did a major cross-country move to a new region of my home country of the U.S.
Maybe not quite there, but once you get the hang of it.
So this is my first stream in my new location. And this is, I have kind of an interesting history with E3 coverage. I believe that I literally have the first ever E3 live fan reaction footage of Nintendo's E3 presentation, because there's a satellite broadcast of Nintendo's E3 2006 brief presentation, which was basically the full reveal of the Wii and its games back in 2006. And this is before smartphones, so I just had an actual digital video camera. I think it was 4 megapixels. It might have been 240p camera, but I recorded it on there. If you... Let me just...
and here's another Emmy door. But in order to not spoil any more surprises here, we're going to leave this as a cliffhanger and end our segment here.
All right. Well, that's all we've got on Metroid Dread for now. Thanks, Teresa.
Oh, wait. Okay. So that's not my latest video.
Mario Party Superstars.
Either of those will take you to my YouTube channel. I have most of my past VODs archived there. You can also find some of my old E3 material. They announced no Metroid Prime 4, but they did announce Metroid 5, Metroid Dread, and then after that, they also announced a Mario Party game, which will have some boards from different N64 era Mario Party games, and a lot of mini games from N64 era and apparently post N64 era as well. And I'm guessing these are mini games that won't be focused on motion controls like some of the Wii ones were. Yeah, I'm generally on the retro side, but with some of the stuff they announced today, I might be branching off a bit. I tend to play... I'm not against PC emulation, but I prefer original, official releases. Like, for instance, I've got my NES Classic Edition here, which I only got specifically because we're streaming and because I wanted to use the controllers for Virtual Console stuff on Wii and Wii U. But like, so this is emulation, but it's still part of the official release history of these games that they were released and published on this device. So I tend to go for official releases. I will only use emulation when nothing else is possible. My favorite of all is playing with original cartridges, but I only get to do that for Game Gear and Genesis games because I have an analog Mega SG. So for right now, for like Game Boy Advance games, I use my Wii U because Game Boy Advance games are on the Virtual Console in that system. But when I do have an analog Pocket console pre-ordered, and when that ships later this year, I'll be able to play Game Boy Advance games that aren't on the Wii U Virtual Console, which I look forward to a lot.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live. I'm Kay, and I'm here with Rob, Riona, and Brandon, and we are going to show
is this
you
going to be
some
Mario Party
gameplay
now?
from Mario Party Superstars.
This is a Superstar game because
it's we're going to put away
mini games and boards from the past of the series.
I'm gonna put this away
everything is
now,
on buttons
the
and
game.
sticks, so you can play with a Pro Controller, with a Switch Lite,
Buttons and
whatever you
sticks,
need.
nice.
And let's just get started. So, if you remember the
Peach's
N64
birthday cake, this is
board,
from Mario Party
the
1.
N64 board, Peach's birthday cake, it looked like this.
But like a lot of the Mario
And
Party
I think
1
you'll
boards
see
had
that
an
the
emphasis
new
on
board
stealing
looks a little
stars,
bit
which later
tastier.
Mario Party games didn't do. So I'm going to see how they balance this out.
Yes.
Powdered sugar. It's
Having boards from different Mario. Oh, you can play as
I've
Birdo.
never
That's
seen
cool.
such detailed powdered sugar. If you haven't played the series before, Mario Party is a board game series. You run around the board trying to collect
And then,
stars.
like in the
You play,
first Mario Party game, because there's such an emphasis on losing coins and losing
the coins
stars,
can be
Mario
traded for the stars.
Toad would give you 10 coins just for passing the
the basic
start. So I
idea.
wonder if
You'll
they're going to
see
have
as we
that.
go.
We'll see.
And of course, there's hijinks that ensue on different spaces that you'll see us demonstrate. Oh, I said yes.
Oh, another chance.
It's not actually my first time playing this board, but sure, we'll take a little tour. So over here we have the scary Bowser pudding.
We're just going to leave it there.
We're just going to leave scary Bowser pudding. It's hanging for a drama. And
Well, it's like, and then also in Mario Party 1, there was what they called single-player minigames. But then in Mario Party 2, the single-player minigames were replaced by item minigames. So how are they going to balance that out as well? It's another thing to consider. So I see some interface elements from Super Paper Mario, which I only saw footage of. I never actually played it.
I'm Luigi.
all right. So we
I'll play as Luigi in this, unless I have the option to play as a blue Yoshi. If I play as a blue Yoshi, that's what we're going with.
Yeah, it doesn't last very long.
And we're all friends right now, you'll notice.
Yeah, for now.
This board
Wait,
is
they
unusual because
reinvented
the
this
star is always in the
stage.
same place. You have to get basically to the
Wait.
center of the cake. On other boards, the star moves around each time someone collects it.
So the strategy is going to be different depending on which board you're playing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll my dice
Dice
here.
block.
Oh, come on.
So it looks like the dice
Great
is
start.
actually
Oh, well,
dice blocks
you've got
actually
this
are
advantage.
random.
Oh, that's true.
So, like I said, hijinks.
Yeah,
ensue
this
on some of the
mechanic, this
spaces.
planting
This
a
one
strawberry,
is,
this
one
is
of
from the
event
original.
spaces where you can choose to plant a strawberry, but it's a weird strawberry.
Yeah. Oh, it's a cute little piranha.
Very special strawberry.
That is
Very
really
healthy
adorable.
looking.
Yeah.
I'm very hungry.
And yeah, if any of the rest of us land on one of those spaces in front of the piranha plant, they will steal coins on Brandon's behalf.
Yeah, please feel free if you guys
No
want
tree
to.
or
Basically a
four, no
trap
tree
you
or
could
four.
set.
Oh, God.
Did you say 3 or 4?
I guess I did. I'm just doing this, for you guys at home to see what happens.
Educational value.
Oh, man. Yeah, already starting off not fair.
It's so crazy
go, right?
seeing
Oh, no.
like
You're
Rosalina
domination.
from Mario Galaxy on a board from a Mario Party game that existed like a decade or more
But I
before
did not land on the
Mario
front.
Galaxy even
That's
existed.
true.
You did. You landed on the blue space, so that's good for you because you get coins.
Yeah.
Luigi. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at that. That is
Luigi
a
strong out of the
superstar
gates.
roll. Ooh,
Oh,
I
You
love
get-
yeah.
well, Luigi
I think Riona's the one.
wins Mario
I
Party by
know.
doing nothing.
Luigi.
I just can't help it. I'm just
Nice.
a born winner.
So I
Well, you're
think
in
what
good
you
shape
the
now 'cause you have
what
enough
used to be
points to
single player
trade for a
minigame
star when you
spots
get there.
are being replaced
now.
by that roulette where you could win or lose
Now
coins.
we'll
I
see
think.
which messy
Messy
Oh,
Memory. This
boy.
is not a Mario Party 1 game.
Oh, good
boy.
grief.
I
I
have a
can't.
great strategy
Whatever
for
Mario
this
Party
game
game this came from, I never
where
played
I
it
say
because I've
everything
never
out
seen this
loud
minigame
so I
before.
can
So you'll notice that the first thing it shows you
Crazy
is a quick,
Cutters, I remember.
explanation
That was
screen
on the
where we can
roulette.
actually play the game a little bit, but it doesn't count yet, as we all sort of figure out how the controls work and everything. And then once everyone is ready, you can hit plus or minus to say, yes, let's start.
Yeah, for me, my big wins for today are... Oh, that was from Mario Party 3. I played it. I played Mario Party 3. I rented it once to play with my friend.
Stop talking.
And not long after it came out, because there were just no more copies of Mario Party 2, which was and is my favorite in the series.
No.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
I kind of like how they put the
Okay, my
practice
strategy
mode
is to
on
copy
the title screen of the minigame, the explanation screen, so you don't have
because
to
then there's the curtain feature, so as
play
soon as
through
I
the entire
feel like I have
game to
everything
get a
in the
sense of
right
how to play it.
spot, I can close the curtain, and nobody can copy me.
My strategy was just
I'm
trying to
gonna
pay attention
struck
to
your
the lower
interest
shelf
was
only. I
Metroid
don't
Dread.
think
Yeah,
can
I
manage
mean
the
that's
whole
one
thing,
that's
so
my
I
big
think I
ones
got the
today
lower
were
shelf
this
right.
Mario Party game
whatever I can.
and Metroid Dread and WarioWare. Everything else is like
Okay, close the curtain.
okay, fine.
No cheating.
And of course, it's nice to see a little more Zelda, which we still did not get a name for. Hey, Aileen, how you doing?
So occasionally you'll see
Yeah,
some,
my first E3 co-stream thing going on. We just had Nintendo's Direct. And now we're doing Treehouse Live. They announced Metroid 5, which I called like a second before they actually showed the words Metroid 5 on screen.
I did not.
The internet in my new apartment has been
Oh no.
has held up well.
My strategy failed me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to drop in on Aileen yesterday. What, she was playing Super Mario Brothers 3? If I remember correctly, weren't you playing the Nintendo Switch Online version? It was either Nintendo Switch Online or the NES Classic version. Because it was one of those ones with like a modern interface. There's some kind of official version of it. I got Mario 3 in like, I guess, 99, no, it had to be 2000 from a thrift shop.
With someone, you want to express yourself.
And you like copies of Mario Brothers 3 weren't floating around because that was like NES in like 2000 was kind of like what PS3 is now, where it's not old enough to be retro, but it's not current either. So people are just kind of giving stuff away for the most part. There's nothing. So even highly desired games like Mario Brothers 3, but Mario Brothers 3 was one of those ones where, like, you see Mario and Duck Hunt everywhere. Mario 3 you didn't see as much because I guess people who liked it were just hanging on to them.
I'll take it.
So items help in
Double
future
dice.
rounds.
So that's double dice is basically the equivalent of the old mushroom item.
Roll sometimes.
Well, some of them do other fun stuff.
Yeah. Ah, yes, I'll be planting a...
Yeah, I never got past World 3 on that. I'm not the most talented gamer in the world. Mind you, I have not played Super Mario Bros. 3 in like the better part of 20 years. So when I play it, I'll be relatively fresh on it, such as it were. Like, I had a friend over for the first time in like like 15 years, and this was already like probably 10 years ago. And we played Super Mario Bros. 3 for like 10 or 15 minutes just to do so. You know, we played two-player Mario Bros. 3.
Stick to the past.
But that's the last time I really played it. Yeah,
Don't get lost
like,
in the frosting.
Like Super Mario Brothers? I never beat Super Mario Brothers before.
Now.
I'm not counting. I beat the All-Stars version of that game, but the way the save system works, they effectively give you infinite continues, so I'm not even counting beating the All-Stars version of Super Mario Brothers. And plus, there's some quality of life things, like there's actual indications as to when you're taking the wrong path in a Bowser Castle.
Great.
I love that.
Yeah, this minigame's definitely from Mario Party 1.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm getting, you know.
Oh, coin.
I can't take it. Like, thank you so much.
Give me that
You know, yeah, I really appreciate it.
Section's all off.
I know Reggie had a unique showmanship quality to him. I mean, I never knew the guy, obviously, but I feel it's kind of cool that I ran into Reggie enough times that he knew my face. He's like, yeah, like, hey, it's here. You were at the... And then he just lists all the events I was at. Like, yeah, Reggie actually remembered. I was at the 3DS launch. I was at the Reggie autograph signing. I was at the Nintendogs event. Like, so, like, Reggie, you knew my face. So that's cool.
5 coins.
What do I have? I have a copy of the book Blue Ocean Strategy signed by Reggie. I have some Game Boy Micro faceplate signed by him, and also a poster.
was not the
and a Game Boy Micro box.
It was what?
And the funny I got to
Oh,
drop in on like 5 minutes of one stream and like
These are great.
and
you never know what you're gonna
quasi
find.
lurked a little yesterday.
There's lots of fun surprises
You know,
like this
I'm
on every game board.
honored
It's
that you
really
enjoy my
difficult to,
stream enough
predict a winner with this
to get
game.
your attention, let
Part of what
alone
makes
all
it
these
so fun.
bits. But
All right.
so my plans right
Double
now,
dice.
just for
Double dice.
full disclosure, if they went into WarioWare, because WarioWare is one of those games where kind of figuring out what to do and having no idea what's going on, having to figure out on the fly is part of the surprise. So if they did WarioWare, I would not have. I would have ended the stream at that point, sent it on to someone else.
Oh, really?
But
Really show off.
yeah, I see you there. But then when it came to, but because they went into Mario Party, which isn't really about a spoilerable game.
I don't know what for.
I'm very glad that these bits only exist as a
I know,
in,
it's Brandon we have to
the
watch out for.
virtual
Look
world
how
of
many coins
cyberspace,
Brandon
because I'd be like kind of neck deep in them at this point.
Look how delicious
I'm getting
the cake is.
buried
Pay
here.
attention
It
to
is a good cake.
All right.
It's
Here
just,
we go.
Now
you know,
I'm going to trade my 20
all right.
coins for a delicious
always
star
appreciated,
and shoot
never at
up
all
into
necessary.
First place
For now.
for all.
I mean, you see, there's at least 2 more people coming who have enough coins to trade, so...
Well done.
I mean, look at this turn. We know who
Yeah,
the
I
real
wonder if they're
superstar
going
is.
to play through the entire.
You
I
know,
think they're gonna play through until like
that, dear.
1 or 2 people get a
Sorry, I
star.
couldn't hear you all the way in fourth place.
I deserve that.
And at that point, they're
I
probably gonna
love that.
either go to a different map or something.
So this is a 1 versus 3 because I landed at a different kind of space as everyone else.
Oh,
Now this is a
okay,
map.
one.
This is
the
from
one
Mario
where I
Party
tried to
3. I
explain
only
my
played
friend
Mario
was
Party 3
Yeah.
once.
Ooh,
Like I don't know if anyone wasn't there for that. I
Okay,
rented it from
Yeah.
Blockbuster in like 2000, I think,
In
because
the upper left
I was my
corner,
friend was
or,
over,
sorry, upper right corner,
and
it
there
has
were
the
out of
logo
copies of Mario Party 2 at
That's how you know
Blockbuster,
this
so
is
I just
game
we got Mario Party 3
Okay,
instead.
let's not trap the princesses in the center of the
So I really,
Oh,
the
that's
only
not
mini
the
game
side.
I remember
Okay.
specifically from Mario Party 3 was
I
that
definitely
Shy
deserve
Guy
into that.
like rhythm music
Serpentine,
memory
serpentine.
game thing
Okay.
that I thought was just way too long to be there. It
Oh,
just
God.
wasn't fun because there was just so
Fear
much
my
stuff to remember.
geologic might.
Oh no. Just keep
powerful.
swimming. Just keep swimming.
Okay, we've got
You can do it. Oh, you can do it. You can do it. You're so close.
Oh, we're so good.
Oh!
Did we ran out of time?
Ran out of time.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
for domination.
Oh,
That was so close.
But we made it.
that was a struggle.
That was.
That was a struggle.
Now
didn't
let's
give up.
see.
I think that's a moral victory, like a victory of the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as good as an actual victory.
No, I agree. It's oh.
So.
You guys
And I
are
still
full of
haven't played Super Mario Party. I was
Full of
you know, it's
superstars.
funny because they just added a bunch of online
that's just
modes
you, Leona.
to Mario Party.
Ooh.
Okay,
You
yeah.
have enough for a
To
large
Super Mario
one.
Party.
I am gonna go for a large one.
And I was considering
I
buying
like
it
that you
just to
took the
support
bait, 'cause
them,
now you
to
don't have enough
reward
for
them
a
for
star.
doing those new online modes.
And for those who
And
don't know, the large
then
Oh
they,
my
they come out
gosh,
with this, which should
Big
probably,
star.
I hope, has
Take a
online
star
at least as
for
robust
the
as Super Mario Party.
Simply mouth-watering.
Because
Yeah,
honestly, at
that's
this
a little
point, I'm
dangerous for
basically
you,
paying
dude,
for
being in
Nintendo Switch
first place.
Online.
Yeah.
Because I originally got it so I could play Mario 35. Mario 35 is
we were
gone
also
now.
going to make sure we,
So basically, the only
showed it on
reason
the
I
board.
have Nintendo Switch Online is
We might just
for
have to
the
leave this
classic
game where
games,
Riona's
because I
winning.
really don't play online games anyway. Not that
Yeah,
Nintendo's
I'm happy to
multiplayer
leave this
online
board
is that
right
good
now.
anyway.
But I
But
just
rude
planted
boy,
my
if
big
anyone
truck.
deserves the bits, this guy,
All the more
this guy
reason
does the
to
knowledge. He
leave.
knows. Such an humble, kind man. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I
There
guess
was
I
a-
can
One of the cool things
bring the
about
chat
this game
box
is that you
to the
can save.
forefront. I didn't want to
So if you know,
have it
something happens between
covering
games,
the
or in
the
middle of game,
stream
rather, you
during
can
the
come back
main event, during the
Right.
Exactly.
It auto saves at the
the
top
direct.
of every
Let's put it up top
Yeah,
there.
top of every turn. So we had a game.
And another thing I do like to do, I like to have
a
you know
a little,
public domain or
contention.
you know stuff I could put on YouTube stuff I could put on stream,
heated.
like old like video
heated,
train
that's-
videos and stuff like that.
Yes.
Stuff I could put on without
And we thought we would finish
having
it
copyright
off.
problems, and then I'll just be playing pinball up in the corner.
Are we in a place to do that now,
There it
everyone?
is.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, there we
All
go.
right. So let's pause and get that.
So
set
like
up.
for a while I
We
was
warmed
like
up enough
while during
now.
Metroid I just had
Warm up
Time to
round.
jump
I had
into
pinball
the,
going up in the corner right
Just kinda
here.
real.
All right.
Oh, we switched to a different
we
board
are
here.
On the Spaceland board on turn 17.
You know, if I was going to pick a board for Mario Party 2, I'd probably sooner pick...
This is getting pretty intense. We're all playing the same characters as we were before, and looks like Rob's
Yeah, I would probably pick Western Land or Pirate Land.
You'll notice this
But this would probably be number 3 on my list. Not unless I wanted Bowser Land, because Bowser Land in Mario Party 2 was really good.
There's the scary countdown when you cross that space, and then when it counts to 0.
Yeah, that diagonal corridor. If you're on that when the countdown hits 0, you lose all your coins.
Dramatically exciting.
Chances are pretty high.
All right, I'm gonna roll. And all right.
Well.
Yeah, it looks. I like how they have multiple in-progress games ready to jump to show off different boards.
Sure.
Once they finish the Mario Party 2 segment, I may, depending on what game they cover next, I might just see who else is on and throw the stream over to them.
Particularly playing on this board.
Receive a cursed dice block.
Friends and family.
Right, and this
okay,
is
so that's what the rule. Okay, I didn't get to get a close look at all those roulette options before, all the potential outcomes.
Really random and
yeah, but I was streaming with
but there's also a lot of sort of
yeah,
Ian, to it.
Yeah, so I use a lot of like
means that,
I prefer when I use emulation, I prefer
same
official emulation is part of the game's official release history or original cartridges. I can only really do that with Game Gear, Master System, and Genesis stuff right now because that's, I guess I have an analog Mega SG. When I get the analog Pocket, I'll be able to do that with Game Boy Color, and other systems, especially Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridges.
I mean, Boo and I, we're real tight.
Eventually, what I would like to do is try for, because I'm really not that great at games, and the 8-bit version of Sonic the Hedgehog is extremely easy as platformers go, especially considering that game came out in '91.
He'll do me a favor now and then.
But I may try my hand at doing a stream. Streams where I go for single credit runs of Sonic the Hedgehog, because because that's one of the few games I can really just beat on command, where I can just sit down and an hour later I've beaten it, and I can do so extremely reliably.
Shortest.
And now one thing I was thinking of doing, the single credit streams, because like the last couple, like 3 or 4 times I've done Sonic, it's to the point where the only reason I'll die is if I get really careless or tried something stupid that I know is possibly going to get me killed, or just am fidgeting around and mess up.
Oh my gosh.
When I'm seriously playing, I'm my only real bottlenecks are the jungle zone, which is the 3rd zone of the game, Robotnik fight. I tend to take deaths there because it can be a very tricky fight. But generally, the Robotnik fights I'm very safe on, because the Robotnik fights in Sonic 1 for 8-bit, that being Master System and Game Gear, they tend to be extremely pattern-based with very large parts of the map, where if you were to stay at camp in these parts of the map, Robotnik's projectiles and torpedoes will never hit you. But of course, when you look at actual speedrun strats, which I do not do, I've never attempted speedruns of that game, I don't think I ever will. Speedrun strats are pretty much going for being them as quickly as possible rather than as safely as possible. So, like if you look at someone like Fozon here on Twitch, who is a top player of the 8-bit Sonic the Hedgehog game, like I know at a couple of points he was the world record time player, speedrun player for Sonic 1 on Game Gear. He'll take a lot of deaths on bosses that I could easily defeat, because he's trying to beat them as quickly as possible instead of as safely as possible.
Don't get higher.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this game this game is like so stressful because you're so relatively powerless, but it's so fun. But then you take a very similar game to this, like Day at the Races.
Why do I have to go first?
Well, you know the strategy, right?
Pick the same color as my dress.
No, if you have to go first, that's the best, because you have whoever goes first has the best chance of not hitting the one that triggers the explosion.
Game is to pick a pump and hope that you don't get blown up.
Yep. I will choose my only color, the only color I'm wearing.
I know. The strategy of going before you means I get to pick pink.
So now Rosalina has a 1 in 3 chance of blowing up.
See, I'm actually.
And it's process of elimination.
Are you sure?
No. Get out of my head.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, Brandon.
Let's find out.
Oh my goodness.
Luigi has a 50-50 chance right now. The other three then caught your attention with the remix of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 for Stream and Mobile.
I think it's
For Steam and Mobile. But console release is forthcoming. I don't know if this is true, but someone in Pete's stream said that all those Final Fantasy games are going to be is the mobile version with the garbage Vaseline filter that they smeared all over the mobile versions taken off and just replaced with more faithful pixel graphics. I heard that's all those remakes are.
No,
I hope.
I'm gonna stick with pink.
I hope that's because when I heard like pixel art remakes, I'm thinking like 2D HD, like Octopath Traveler-esque, like pixel art remake.
right.
You know what I mean?
No.
Well, that's ominous.
Good luck, Rob.
Yeah, I was, at one point I was. If you look at my to get away from this for a brief moment, when I normally play versus pinball, I have this this layout where you have my stats, my current average performance, my ranking in the global leaderboards and everything. But I'm just playing casually as something to do with my hands while I talk about the Nintendo Treehouse stuff. Because I'm playing directly through my broadcast software. I normally have a monitor playing this directly, and with the monitor it's lagless, but when I'm looking through the broadcast software there's an additional element of lag added to it, which makes it a lot trickier to play. So versus pinball, it's like a game I play, like it's the only game I've played competitively, but at the same time it's also something that
game is so tense.
It's so
I love it.
it's a game I can play while multitasking and still do relative and still have fun with. I have fun with it, and it still is, and it's a visually interesting addition to the stream as well.
Nice.
Racing.
Shocking
What last
let's
March
see if I can roll
for
more
the 10th anniversary of the 3DS, I watched. We spent
I can make
all
someone
day
else roll
watching all my old 3DS YouTube videos and a marathon.
During the last 5 turns
And in the corner, I had the SG-1000 version of Pachinko, which I loaded via SD card onto the Mega SG, because the actual cartridge of SG-1000 Pachinko
Blue and red spaces.
is thousands of dollars. Hey, Mod Geek. I mean, I know you shouted me out in a brunch stream last night. You did another fun stream of commercial stuff.
Obviously, yes.
I know I didn't.
This never goes
I
wrong.
think
ever.
Brunch said he might do a New York specific nostalgia stream, and if he does that, he's going to use. I actually sent him a tape, like personally.
I love when they
Well, digitally. It's an unlisted video with a bunch of commercial breaks that ripped out of my own VHS collection, because as part of my setup, I actually do have a DVD out VCR, well, an HDMI out VCR.
Yeah.
So I could digitize tapes very easily by running them into the computer with another device I
Because of the
have.
blue space, I got 3 coins to start with.
So I was just able to provide that to him, and I said, hey, you could,
Lucky seven.
hey, Srax Meister 5, how you doing? Yep, so we're doing a lot right now. I'm playing versus pinball very poorly. I was in the top 100 at one point.
Oh,
Rude sent you?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
This is a very
let's drag that alert box over.
Another 10. I'm gonna pass out.
Fighting Palm Damo.
Basically,
Hey, how you doing?
doing what the Shy Guy said.
Now I wonder if I like how they made this from A and B. They made it the L and R triggers to give sort of a more of a physical sense of left versus right.
Okay, this game takes a lot of concentration.
I'm a great man that knows my retro. I better deliver now. Yeah, so we're watching the Nintendo E3 Treehouse Live content. I'm also playing Nintendo vs. Pinball. This is the arcade version of the NES game. I was in the top 100 in the leaderboards for this at one point. Now I'm down to the top. I'm in 105, so I'm out of the top 100. I gotta maybe do some streams where I dig deep into this again.
Of competitiveness when it comes to this game. Oh no!
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, so we watched the Nintendo Direct, and now we're watching Treehouse Live. The first part of Treehouse Live was the newly announced, about an hour ago, they just announced Metroid 5. And then, so we got Metroid 5,
I think that's cheating, Rob.
And so the first thing in Treehouse was they did some gameplay coverage of that.
Yes, for domination.
Oh, nice work, Rob.
Thank you.
And then can't stop shopping at the minute.
That was one of my favorites from the original Mario Party.
Then so we got Metroid 5. Then now they're doing coverage of this new Mario Party game, which is going to be a bunch of boards from N64 era Mario parties, along with many mini games from different Mario Party games.
I know you are
These boards from Mario Party 2 right here.
Thank you very much.
And so after this, I'm guessing they might do WarioWare next, and because WarioWare is so based around being fresh on the weird scenarios and split-second reaction time to do the micro games, I might end the stream at that point and send it off to someone else. Is the Switch Pro really true? They're not announcing it today, that's for sure. They've been different product. They've been rumors of some kind of enhanced version of the Switch since the Switch actually came out. So at this point, we don't know if it's like a true next-gen success for the Switch or if it's an incremental upgrade.
You could even buy the Star afterward with your money bags.
People were calling it Nintendo Switch Pro, but it was never officially like announced or even called that, or even the nature of the product. They've been conflicting reports.
Well, it did save, so technically it could.
That's true.
So, like I know, what was it? E3 2012.
About my friend.
People, there are rumors of a new version of the 3DS, new 3DS hardware, and Nintendo said we are not announcing new 3DS hardware at E3. E3 came and went. There was no new version of the 3DS announced. Like a few days after E3 ended, Nintendo announced the 3DS XL. So Nintendo could announce something like days after E3, just because for E3 they want to focus on stuff that's coming out this year on their currently available system.
Go Riona, go Riona.
Yeah, so we didn't get Metroid Prime 4, but we did get Metroid 5.
Actually very good at facing Boo off
And we got it, the first trailer, we had the teaser trailer for the sequel to Zelda Breath of the Wild. We got that teased in E3 2019. And then today, they closed off the press conference with the first, footage of the new Zelda game, and they did not do that. But weirdly enough, they did not show a subtitle for the new Zelda game.
Where am I? Where am I on the map? I don't remember where I am on the map.
The eternal question. Oh no.
Am I on the map? Where?
Oh man, the dynamic camera angles for this laser beam.
It's so terrifying.
It's so cool.
I love the upgrades to it. Oh no.
And it just slowly reveals who's in the path. Which it turns out is nobody.
Oh good.
But when it does hit, it takes away all your coins.
Yeah, it's
devastating.
Pretty brutal.
Devastating.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I'll pay 6 coins for that.
That's probably how he afforded his own satellite.
Yeah, so I was expecting Metroid Prime 4. Instead, I got Metroid 5.
How many
so I'm happy about that.
And another great example of what the speed trap that Rob set does.
Strategy stream a lot of Retro too. Yeah, the only original hardware I've used is I could use my Game Gear Master System and Genesis cartridges with my Mega SG console. Aside from that, I tend to use officially authorized emulation, like the NES Classic Edition. Or the Genesis mini system they made to compete with NES Super NES Classic. As well as, what was it called?
Well, I feel sorry for you guys.
Yeah, or like the Wii U Virtual Console or Nintendo Switch Online's retro games. But I'm not against PC emulation for some games that aren't available through any other means. Like there are a lot of DS games on the Wii U Virtual Console, but then for games that were never released on the Wii U Virtual Console, like Pokemon Black and White, when the time comes for that, I will use PC emulation because it's very difficult and expensive to get a custom DS that you could do HDMI out on.
Thanks so much, Kay.
You're welcome.
So when the time comes, I will revert to PC emulation, but in the year and change I've been streaming, because it started in May 2020, has something to do during all the pandemic lockdowns.
Yeah, me too. I also feel sorry.
Then
us princesses are used to being driven around and not driving.
I did one DOS stream. I used DOSBox for that.
Well, did you see how many logs I hit though?
Yeah. So just a fair warning. Once
Everyone at home knows.
Once this section of the Treehouse Live goes off,
A bit of peak coming on. So
I might if they go onto WarioWare or something I'm just not interested in, I'm probably going to just throw the stream over to see who else is on.
Oh.
The same as me. All right.
See, this is one of the things I was talking about when I say the stakes are raised during the last 5 turns. They landed on the same space, so now there's a duel. Oh, do it!
Oh,
okay, so
everything.
Oh, this is great.
No,
Don't
I'm a coward.
buy that
Bye. I don't like this.
Yes.
You know, my favorite part about this is that I don't have anything at stake right now.
That is such a gutsy move.
How nice.
I am going to enjoy this.
yeah, this is the bomb defusing minigame where you have to press the button closer. They tell you, oh wait, 3.5 seconds or 3 seconds or 2 seconds, whatever, and whoever hits the button closest to that mark. Oh, okay.
The vine swing. Oh, okay. I'm on the top screen.
All right, excuse me. I just told you the rules for how the duel minigame worked in Mario Party 2, but here they're going to use a 1 versus 1 minigame for Mario Party 3 because this is a remix of several.
Would you call it one?
A lot of elements of different N64 Mario Party games.
Absolutely.
Hopping.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Does it help to say hopping out loud, Rob?
It does help to say hopping out loud.
Well,
so I remember what I'm
doing.
All right, yeah. So I see. I like a little surprise like that because I just described how the rules worked in the original. Because in Mario Party 2, the dual mini games were specifically themed to that board, and here they're just using a generic mini game. Oh, you know what? One thing I just considered for Mario Party 2, in the original Mario Party 2, the characters would always dress up for the board. Like in Pirate Land, they'd all dress up as pirates. In Spaceland, they'd all dress up as astronauts. In Horrorland, they called it Horrorland. Really, it probably should have just been called Fantasyland. They all dressed up as wizards. So here, they're in Spaceland. They're not dressed up in their astronaut suits, which is unfortunate, but I can understand.
And also 142
like
coins.
why you know.
I am so pleased right now.
That was pretty good.
I feel very much like Luigi. Very eyebrows up.
Bird domination at its finest.
Yeah, bird domination coming through. 178 coins.
I don't think I've ever seen
I may have said this before for some of you who've been in here for a minute, but one thing I was interested in seeing is
oh my god,
yeah, just
how they balance these boards.
Well,
Because, for instance, Mario Party 1, there was more of an emphasis on losing coins. If you lost, unless you won a minigame, you often lost coins. And then there was a big emphasis on...
like adding insult to injury right there.
Oh, that's cool. It says on screen how many coins are in the bank. That's nice.
And then whoever lands
on the bank
gets all those
space.
coins, but Rihanna didn't have any.
But they,
And whose fault is that?
That's mine. I will take all the credit
yeah,
for
what
that.
happened was they would
Let's see. I want to take a look at the board.
they would take a lot stars away from you often. Like Bowser had ways you could steal stars from you,
to use it.
or you could lose stars during board game play. And in Mario Party 2, they really didn't have that. So
I think it might be time.
I was interested to see how they rebalance certain elements. Like in Mario Party 1, because there's such an emphasis on losing stars or having coins stolen by other players.
And it won't get me any closer.
Whenever you crossed the starting point of the board, you would get 10 coins from Toad.
Thank you.
So I wonder if I don't think they have that in this version because starting from Mario Party 2, you could not steal. The only way you could steal coins in Mario Party 2 was to use the Boo, who appears on each board.
But you know what?
He lands on it, he'll steal some coins from another player for you. You can't like steal coins during a minigame.
Yeah, if you
So
roll extra on the next one, you have a shot.
I mean, it's the only chance I have.
This is interesting.
So let's
Clearly
go
want one
for
of those
one of.
multi-dice in the
Let's go for
middle.
that triple. Oh no!
That's not bad. +5.
yeah, so that's kind of how the single player item minigames. That wasn't one for Mario Party 2, but that's kind of one that would have fit in with Mario Party 2.
No, I thought that if I held the button, then I could release it when I was ready. But then I pressed it, and she shot the arrow. So read the instructions, you know.
Gosh.
A lesson to all of us.
Yeah, it's interesting watching the Nintendo people kind of misunderstand elements of their own game.
Started.
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out, Kay.
See, you know, no harm, no foul, really. It only helped me.
Only makes her stronger.
I'm carrying this rage into this minigame.
Oh, I already have at least a couple of books I should be working on right now.
our hearts.
Yeah. This one's super simple.
What, a book about my personal experiences with gaming, and then throwing in some history stuff on top of that? Because, like, in terms of history, like, a lot of what I know is from more qualified historians. I think what I could provide that's unique is sort of my own experiences with the games. Like, I could talk about, you know, being bathed in the light of my Game Gear in the backseat of my parents' car, you know, driving through the streets of New York City late at night as they're taking me. You know, we went out somewhere and we're going home.
One thing I love about this is that there's a little bit of
like at one point, my dad was running my dad's a hairstylist. He was running a salon that was like about 50 miles away from where we lived. So in the morning, we drive all the way out there, and I, you know, play and ride my bike near the salon. And I drive all the way back. And at night, I just remember sitting in the back seat of the car. They were playing games like the first Sonic the Hedgehog or Triple Trouble.
Slowly,
you know, the music filling up the car and just being in the light of there. An autobiographical experiences and history.
If only you could get to the star.
For all the gaming-related books I could write, that would probably be one of the more worthwhile ones. Because in terms of, like in terms of history, a lot of what I know is just reading stuff that's already out there on Wikipedia. In terms of original history, I'm not. I don't have any primary research for it. I'm just letting that ugly... If I'm not playing pinball, I need to take that off my layout.
Oh no!
There is only one possible answer. We all know what it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Or you could wager.
Okay, so they're on turn 20 of 20, so after this...
Oh, that also would have been pretty good.
After this turn, they'll probably be switching games, and if they're not switching to a game I'm interested in, I'm probably going to end the stream there.
I like how many different strategies people bring into stuff like this.
Well, and if
you know, it's funny because this chair, like, I had to leave my blue gaming chair behind in storage at my old state.
Underdog moments. Oh,
okay.
But where I'm at now, so I had to get this chair. It's a comfy chair, but it's kind of one of those pleather chairs that where the pleather starts flaking off and making a huge mess. It looks like someone took like the carpet beneath the table, beneath the chair. It looks like someone took a handful of black crayons over a cheese grater and was just doing this over the carpet. So there's just black shavings all over the floor, black plastic shavings. So that's why I have this Pikachu throw over the back of the chair to kind of protect that from getting all over my hair and my clothes.
Whoa!
But that being said, it might be more comfortable than my actual proper gaming chair.
Very good.
Because, like, I had a bunch of cushions and additional cushions and wrestle over that chair that were not even included. They were intended for use on like a car.
Applaud you. What are you talking about?
For like long distance drives. All right.
I like that confidence.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's because I'm moving in and just trying to get the feel for how my schedule and my daily life might go in my new region. It might be like a couple of weeks before I start streaming routinely again. But I will have a lot more free time in the evenings and on the weekends.
I'm really glad you get to show this off.
Yeah.
Because this is a really nice item.
Oh, you're so nice now.
I just wish I was the one that got to use it. And now the star is going to be in a different place. So much for my strategy.
Oh, we almost got...
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, I just kind of didn't really even launch the ball properly. So let's see what they do after the end of this game, because they didn't finish the first round. This one, they're actually finishing it.
Will it be a loud talk?
Potentially.
I think the moral of this is you can't...
Oh, you have a window AC unit, huh? Well, this place has I've got a ceiling fan that's built into the ceiling and AC.
I have good ideas.
It's true.
So
Hey,
yeah, I'm sorry about that loud yawn, but I live someplace that has actual weather now.
Done.
Whereas before I was living in a almost a subtropical kind of region.
I have so many memories of just playing Mario Party with my family at the holidays.
But my last place, I didn't need a window AC unit.
With them this year.
So,
growing up with this game was
the house I initially moved from in 2017. That place didn't have any AC in it. Like that, there you actually needed to have your windows open or have a desk fan.
Oh, hey.
Now the last place I was at, I'm glad I did not need to open the window because it was the kind of window that doesn't have a screen doors, and being in a subtropical region, when you have an open window, there are lots of critters that like to oh look, it's a cave, let's go in here and get lost and get into trouble.
season
And you don't want to have that happen because then I have to get my bug vacuum and suck them up and then release them outdoors.
No, I don't want to
you know.
But yes, I do own. In fact, I do own a bug vacuum.
You had this whole
for
thing mapped out
non-violent
Yes,
relocation
I have.
of
And look,
insects.
I'm gonna be one away from the star if only we played one more turn.
Because there's some things that are harmful and you have to be a little more heavy-handed, but for things that really just kind of got lost and wandered indoors, you really don't mean any harm. I'll just suck them up with the bug vacuum, then I just release them outside. Cool.
Unfortunately, you can't do it once the game is started.
Dang it.
Oh gosh. You know what you must do.
Oh no.
Oh well.
Brandon.
So
I have
Oh, I like there's a random option.
Which one?
Come on, Princess Solidarity. Come on.
I don't know you.
Oh. You
We're
know
in
what?
space. This is my territory.
Yeah, if you look up.
Probably deserved that.
Yeah, if you look up.
But
I forgot what it's called, but I've gone through a couple of them.
Hooray!
It's marketed as a toy for children, but it's very
Rosalina.
useful
And the star
for.
theft industry is getting a big boost this year.
It's
You know
very
what?
useful
Boo and I
for,
are gonna have to have a chat. I'm disappointed.
If something like a ladybug or something. Like, now ladybugs, when they swarm, they can be a serious pest control problem, but if like, oh, there's a ladybug in the house, it's like, no. And then you could.
Let's see what we got.
And it's cool because you suck them up, and then there's a little thing you turn that closes the chamber. Then you take the nozzle off, and then there's a little chamber that they're crawling around in. And then when you take it outside and you're ready, you open the chamber and shake them out, and then they leave.
I like this one.
Oh,
This game is insidious. Honeycomb Havoc. I'm glad this made it into
thinking and
the.
strategy. Not my strong suit.
So there's a bunch of fruit here, and there's beehives.
Uh-huh.
And you choose whether you want one or two things to come down into your basket.
1,
You
2,
don't want
3, 4,
beehives.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 left. I don't know what
But he
that
also-
means. Gonna take some fruit and go.
Disneyland
also a
no longer
timer,
requires
so,
masks for
if you can
vaccinated
strategize
people,
within 10 seconds,
but they're not asking
you're
you to prove your
in good
vaccination
shape.
status.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know how to strategize this way.
Oh,
No, because like
Okay.
there's some
I'm in
there's
good
some
shape, too.
things like for instance, just
good.
one
My
example.
strategy is
You may be familiar with these Mod Geek. I don't know if they're
Oh,
in
no.
your
No,
exact
no.
part. You say you're in the
Yes.
we're in the south, but
Enjoy
they
those
have what they call
175 coins.
wild wood roaches.
I will.
And what
I'm gonna
these
make
are,
it
these
a
are
big
not
pot
like the
of
kind of
melon
roaches
around
that like you hear of like infesting apartments or like building like a nest in your PlayStation 4 and making it and like destroying it with droppings or anything. There's like a type of roach that
Nintendo
they
3DS
aren't like
Live.
parasitic to humans. Like they're not a cave dwelling roach pretty much. Like
Okay. Oh no.
they're not something that came to Europe on ships
really nice.
because
We'll
they're
take
already
it.
feeding
We'll
off
take
of
it.
human
Brandon,
stuff.
I want
Like
you to remember
like
what I'm
use
doing for you in this
like
moment.
they're just part of the
I
ecosystem.
want you to remember what Princess Solidarity
And they just live on
was.
trees, and they aren't trying to get inside your house.
I've always been.
And so, like, there's stories of people. They'll have like, yeah, if you look at their wall at night, on the side of the outside of the wall, there'll be dozens of these wild roaches, and they're huge. But they basically never come inside. The only time one finds their way inside is by accident. If like someone opens the door and they're resting on the door, and they open the door and they fall off in the house, it's like usually the only way these things get inside. And once they get inside, they're basically just trying to find their way back out.
Okay.
So like they look
what's gonna
like,
happen.
oh no, I'm having a pest control problem, but they actually
wasn't a good-
are.
a good
They're not
I think you were
something
pretty much
that
screwed
lives
either way.
off of. They're not a human pest control thing. They're just kind of are part of the natural ecosystem.
You know,
And when they get inside, it's actually genuinely an accident. They aren't trying to seek out human garbage to live off of.
That's how parties work. I was here first.
Every party has a winner.
Every party has a superstar.
That's true.
Now it's easy for me to be really polite and kind about bugs because I have never like if there was something where I was getting like huge silverfish crawling around that ended up in my bed or something, I'd have to be a little more cutthroat about that. But if like I found a silverfish, like I'd try to catch it and release it safely. I couldn't use the vacuum or something like that. Like in my last apartment, occasionally you'd get these little tiny millipedes.
That's a great sign.
These little tiny adorable millipedes in the bathroom, and I just put a piece of toilet paper down, let them crawl on it, and just let them out outside.
I think we'll be good now.
Yeah.
Now my friend, actually, I'm gonna actually plug her right here.
My strategy here is
My friend who does a lot of my the art for my my streams, Kita Space Cat. She actually wait, no, it's not art. It's Space Cat.
Playing a party.
Yeah, she actually has she raises millipedes. Now the thing with this game here, Mushroom Mix-Up, which is clearly the Mario. This is the Mario Party 1 version, because the Mario Party 2 version of Mushroom Mix-Up is themed around like lava.
Oh, is Toad showing us what he's gonna do?
Toad is showing us what he's gonna do.
And this version is more themed around mushrooms and water. But what you do is you stand at the edge of the mushroom like a butthole, so that the other characters end up bouncing off of you. And that looks like Rosalina won that. I think this is the last mini game of this match.
That's what I.
And at this point, it will.
I wanted to show how you
the
would have
game will
won
be
that
over.
Game.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay, yeah. Okay, all turns have ended.
Okay. So there's some bonus stars that get handed out at the very end. So it's.
Okay, so they kept bonus stars. Hopefully, there's an option to turn them off. I always play with them on.
Oh no.
But it's nice to have the option
Who put the most items?
to turn them off.
I think it was probably
Don't think
Rihanna.
It was me, yeah.
Well done, Riona.
Woohoo!
Way to
Way
buy.
to victory.
Yeah, I'm not sure if happening spaces are quite a thing. Like, I know, well, happening space would have been a thing in this original version of the board, but I'm not sure how they translated that into this new version. Because I believe happening spaces are uniquely, I think Mario Party 1 and 2 had them. I don't know about Mario Party 3 and onwards.
Okay. All right.
Maybe. I played, basically, I'm familiar with Mario Party 2. 1, I used to play a lot, but I haven't played it since like 2000. So I've probably forgotten a lot of it. Just when I see a little bit of Mario Party 1 on YouTube, I'm like, wow, this is a lot different than I remember.
We'll see.
No, I don't have any.
Oh!
Oh
no!
Oh gosh.
Those 175 coins though.
Oh, it's interesting how they have it, how they reveal the final winner. Because in Mario Party 2, they would be.
Brandon.
Yeah,
Brandon.
yeah, it would have been nice if this was. No, it's funny because
You know.
I because of the pathetic online of Super Mario Party, I was like, you know what? They went back and added the online they should have had from the beginning. I'll go and buy Super Mario Party now. But then now they announced this, so it's interesting how that worked out.
Play Mario Party Superstars. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Now, I might end the stream here. Let's see what's going on.
Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. Bye.
Okay, Monster Hunter Stories 2. That's not up my alley. I'm not a Monster Hunter fan. I have too many games to play as it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm probably going to send it over to Pete, who's doing the same thing as me right now. So well, actually, first, I guess I just want to say, while I'm getting settled in my new apartment. It might be a week or two to get back to a regular schedule, and once I'm settled in, then maybe we'll get back to doing regular streams weekly, maybe even twice a week, because I'll have a lot more free time, especially with my new schedule. So I'm gonna send you all over to Pete now, and thank you very much for joining me. This will probably be up on YouTube later on.
Chance to get out of the house much lately? It's really nice to have a chance to explore somewhere that's so beautiful and expansive. I can talk to people even though they're not real and have a big adventure, so I'm really appreciating this. So here, as we take a little bit of a look around my home village, if you think about Monster Hunter, just the name of the franchise, even if you've never played, you can probably guess that it's Monster Hunter. You normally have a pretty adversarial relationship to monsters, but that's not the case in this game. My character is part of a community that has figured out a way to really live in harmony with monsters. They are our friends who fight alongside us. Got a beautiful beautiful